Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna.
Jai Govind Prabhu. Jai Govind Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा।
You're audible.
या
Vraji प्रभु, Vrajalilanath प्रभु।
who is anchoring?
जी प्रभु।
एंकरिंग कौन कर रहा है? I think I'll start speaking. I think so. Nobody is there. Okay. Okay, I'll start off then. Hare Krishna. I'll start. हरे कृष्णा। सभी भक्तों को स्वागतम। आज हमारा संडे फीस्ट प्रोग्राम है। आज हम थोड़ा चर्चा करेंगे गुरु का बारे में, फिर आगे ये दामोदर शास्त्र चरित्र के बारे में थोड़ा चर्चा करेंगे। Are you able to hear all of you?
Yes प्रभु, yes.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So it will be in English, huh? Is it comfortable all of you? We'll just manage. Okay. So let me start with the Jai Radha Madhava. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapadagamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langeti Girim Itkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dienatarinam Paramanantamatam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutri Srimati Jayapataka Swami Nigram Namha Acharpadaya Nitai Kripapadaya Gaurakata Damadaya Nagara Gramatarane Panchagar Padra Bhishakapa Sindhu Paitana Bhavani Bhyo Vaishnavi Bhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. सबसे पहला हम क्या देखना है, गुरु का महत्व। उसके बाद हम लोग देखेंगे ये दामोदर देश यात्रा का चरित्र, उसमें हम कैसे हम लोग आगे बढ़ते रहते हैं, इसमें कैसे हम लोगों को आगे कैसे सेवा करने के बारे में भी हम लोग बात करेंगे। हरे कृष्णा। गुरु तो चार प्रकार का होता है। एक तो मार्ग प्रत्यक्ष गुरु, शिक्षा गुरु, दीक्षा गुरु, चैत्य गुरु। फिर गुरु का महत्व भागवत में दो जगह पे दिया हुआ है। एक तो तस्मात् गुरुम प्रपद्येत, उसके अलावा और एक श्लोक है, हमेशा प्रभुपाद भी ये बता रहे हैं, आचार्यं मां विजानीया वेत्ति लोक महेश्वरम। सॉरी, आचार्यं मां विजानीया नावमन्येत कर्हिचित् न मथ्येत बुद्धया असूयेत सर्वदेव मयो गुरुः। यहाँ हम लोग देख सकते हैं उद्धव गीता में जैसी भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने उद्धव जी को पूरी तरह से ज्ञान प्रदान करता है। कहाँ? आजकल हम लोग गुजरात में बोलते हैं सोमनाथ। ये भागवत पुराण में लिखा है इसका प्रभास क्षेत्र, वहां उन्होंने समझाता है 4 प्रकार का जो वर्णाश्रम के बारे में समझाता है। उसमें आश्रम में यहाँ कृष्णा उद्धव जी को समझाता है जो ब्रह्मचर्य में है, जो ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम में है, उन्होंने कैसे आगे करना है, उनको गुरु को कैसे सेवा करना है, इसके बारे में भगवान वहां बताता है। ऐसे ही बताते हुए ये श्लोक बताता है, हम लोग देख सकते हैं। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। आचार्यं मां विजानीया नावमन्येत कर्हिचेत्, न मर्त्ये बुद्ध्या असूयेत सर्वदेव मयो गुरुः। So, translation by Srila Prabhupada. One should know the Acharya as myself. The very first sentence, what does it say? The Lord addresses Uddhava, and what does he say? One should know Acharya as myself. Then what does he say? And never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him as an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all devatas. Purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's very long, huh? Oh, it's very, very long. Okay, let us not go to the purport fully. I'll just explain a few things in this. Then we'll move on to the Damodar Das Charitra. Okay. So, in this we can understand the Lord, he says, I am Guru also. That's why in the Guru Ashtakam, what do we say? Sakshad Haridvena. Right? Many are singing it sometimes like this. Daridvena, that is wrong. You have to split like this. Sakshad Haridvena. Like that you have to split it. So, there it is very clearly mentioned. He is Hari himself, like God. How we have to like God? So we have to respect him as Krishna himself. That's why Krishna is telling to Uddhava, I am Guru. Guru as myself, one should know. Then what does he say? And never disrespect him in any way. इसलिए हम लोग देख सकते हैं अब क्या बात करते हैं इसमें 10 अपराध हैं. So one should not disobey the spiritual masters' orders of spiritual masters, whatever. So that means the orders of spiritual masters should be taken on top priority. One should first complete it. So one should not disrespect. So that particular point comes in the 10 offense is this, coming from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna says, and never disrespect him any way. कोई भी तरीका से उसको हम लोग अपमान नहीं कर सकते, और we should not ignore his instructions. Then what does he further it say? One should not envy him. इसलिए श्लोक में क्या बात आता है? नावमन्येत कर्हिचेत्, उसमें हम लोग देख लिया one should not disrespect. आगे क्या कहता है? नामर्थ्ये बुद्ध्या असूयेत. असूय means envy. So one should not envy him at all. Then further is what Krishna says is, thinking him an ordinary person, साधारण व्यक्ति, जैसी मनुष्य के जैसे, मध्य, इस श्लोक में क्या कहता है? नावमन्येत कर्हिचेत्. उसके आगे क्या कहता है? ना मर्त्या मतलब जैसी साधारण व्यक्ति के जैसे सोचना नहीं चाहिए. So that is also an aparad. So Krishna says that cannot be done. And further it is explained, 1 minute. For he is the representative of all the devatas. So all the devatas are represented by whom? Guru. So Krishna is telling all these wonderful points. In this, a few things we will go through initially in the purport. What Prabhupada explains is, because in the brahmacharya order of life, one should remember they must have a guru and how the guru should be respected. For instance, for a common man or a baby, small child, when it grows, it needs someone's guidance. Somebody has to take care of, right? Somebody has to direct what to do, right? Otherwise, he cannot become a big man, right? Then he will be a wayward boy and he will be wasting all his time, and he will be also troubling the society too. So he needs someone. So if you look at the many purport also, Prabhupada explains, right? The avanchit population. That means unwanted population will not help the society at all. So we have to understand here, the baby or the child requires someone to guide, like the parents. Similarly, a brahmacharya is also treated like a baby or a child. Why? Because he does not know how to go ahead in his spiritual life. So he needs someone properly guided and instructed. So Guru is so important in that aspect. Then immediately the spiritual master, he is always one who talks about Krishna and who always remembers Krishna. So the spiritual master accepts the disciple on one condition, that he follows his instructions. So as we take the initiation ceremony, there are 3 questions asked, right, in our sampradaya. What is that? One is, what is the minimum rounds one has to do? That is 16 rounds. The next one is 4 regulatory principles. And the third question is always he asks, will you help me in Prabhupada mission? So these are the primary questions. Similarly, as we know, the disciple should take a vow in front of the Agni. That means there is a yajna as we are taking the initiation, and we give a promise or take a vow that we will be fulfilling all these commitments to Guru. So Guru is always representing Krishna, and he is the only guide who can take us back to Godhead. In many places we can understand, even the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, what is that? Tadvidhi pranipatena parishprashnena sevaya. One has to serve the Guru with lots of humility. That's why in this purport, disrespect is not at all allowed. Right? Guru avajna. What is that? We say that, no, 10 offenses. So that means this should be completely avoided at any cost. That's why even in the translation, Prabhupada says, disrespect in any way. Right? So that means all his instructions are to be taken on head and has to be given utmost, topmost priority. Then after that, it talks about the next point, not to get envy of him. This is also very important. Because the moment when we serve the Guru, so many will be respecting, so many will be giving so much of support, all these things. He will be gaining so much of importance. But a disciple should always remember he cannot get envy out of it. So he should be very careful. So one should not envy him. That's also very important. Then the next one it talks about is, one should not think him as an ordinary person. I'll tell you one important aspect in this. All gurus can easily read our mind. The moment we go in front of Guru, we should remember how to behave, first of all. When we behave, instantly the Guru can understand what is there in our mind. Because he is the representative of Krishna. Naturally, he can. So, similarly, the Lord is residing within us as Chaitya Guru, and he knows everything what is happening. So, one cannot pretend in front of the Guru. That's very, very important. So, any pretension will come to know, and the Guru will be able to understand it. So, that means one should not take easily, Guru is like me, as a common man. No, that's totally wrong. Because again and again it says, he is the one who is going to lift you from this material contamination. Right? He is the one who is going to take back to Krishna. So in all circumstances, even in the Sri Sampradaya also, we have seen so many cases, one should remember this is very, very important. One cannot take it very lightly. This is the case. Then it talks about another important point is, spiritual master always teaches his disciple starting from Vedas and other things. So that spiritual knowledge, one gain it only through the Guru, and by his mercy only can understand. A few things. One can listen so much of spiritual lectures and other things, but one cannot understand easily without the mercy of the Guru. That's why we sing in that, what is that song? Shri Guru Charana Padma, what is that? Divya Gyan Krida Prakashito. So this is Jnana, but it is given a higher position. What is that? Divya Jnana. Why it is given Divya Gyan? Anybody can go to any medical college or anything, they can do master or anything. But this is something very special. This is called Divya. That is material, this is Divya. So that means one has to definitely understand this knowledge can be imparted by a representative of Krishna only, but not by an ordinary man. That's why in the Bhagavatam, Krishna is telling one should not think him as an ordinary person. Okay, then moving on to the last portion of it. He is the representative of all Devatas. Okay, let us try to understand what is the role of Devata. Devatas are all only working for Krishna's pleasure, right? So they do services in such a way they always be under the shelter of the Supreme Lord. That's why we can see the Surya Dev rises every day in the morning without any fail. Similarly, the moon also, each and everything, all the Devatas function or execute their work under the instructions of Krishna, right? So whenever we go and approach the Devatas, we are asking for Krishna Bhakti, not anything else. Similarly, when we approach the Guru also, we should remember they are representative of the Devatas. Because what he is going to give, he is going to give us only Krishna Bhakti. We cannot go and ask for petty things. Guru Maharaj, my son is not getting married, then my daughter is not getting married, I am having this problem, that problem. So one cannot keep on, because any material things should not be always taken to the Guru, right? So he is there only to guide us on the spiritual platform. At the same time, how to approach Krishna, how to worship Krishna, and how to go back to Krishna. These are material, small things one should not ask. So that means the way also we always read it from the Bhagavatam, one should not go and ask Devatas for small things, right? So we have to respect them, ask for only Krishna Bhakti. Similarly, Guru is also meant for this only, right? So that means our progress in Krishna Bhakti is very easily possible as we follow all these 4 things. Once again, I'll repeat it. It says, first, the Guru is Krishna himself. Then it says one should not respect Guru in any way. Then it talks about one should not envy him or jealous of him. And the next one is one should not think the Guru as an ordinary person. And finally, when we talk about it, he is the representative of all the Devatas. Hare Krishna, with that we complete the Guru's important. Then coming back to the history and how to progress in Krishna Bhakti, a few points I would like to explain here. First of all, in 1989, when I came to Dubai, by the arrangements of Srinaji, I have to say that, because my intention was to come and have a temple here and go regularly, attend the programs. So as I went the next day after my landing, I could see Mahamani Krishna Prabhu. So that means the arrangements of Lord is so wonderful. That day onwards, I started going to him. So the yatra started in such a way, Mahamani Krishna Prabhu and his son, his Grace Shivalla Prabhu, they all started together. Earlier, they had been here from 82 onwards for a stint of 3 years or so. Then there was a gap of 1 or 2 years. Again, they came back again in 89. So in 89, it was started with a few families. And initially, the programs were held in their house. Mani Prabhu stayed in Bank of Baroda building, the present building. They were in the 9th floor, if I remember right. So then they moved to another building somewhere behind the ENBD on the Al-Faidi Street. So that was also happening. Then they moved to the ABCD building. This is a very popular building, we always used to say. So even our married life started there. So in the earlier days, the programs of DDY were happening only in the evening. So there were, as I told you, few families, it got multiplied, then it became 40, 60 like that. Then a few devotees of ISKCON came from outside also. In that situation, I would like to remember one important thing is, Mani Prabhu called me and instructed me, and he taught me a few shlokas from the Srimad Bhagavatam 7th Canto, 6th chapter. So those shlokas were very, very important for me, and I have been able to remember it all these days. So this is the way the program started in the initial days from evening onwards. So in those days, the Matajis used to bring some prasadam and it is kept together and it is distributed to 40-50 devotees. As it was happening regularly, the numbers started swelling. Somebody has gone and reported, or somehow 2 local guys came and they stopped the program. And as we explained, they were not ready to listen. And they told us very clearly, since there is a temple for performing all these things, you go there. So that time onwards, they maybe after 93 or something, I don't remember exactly. So we moved our program to Guru Darbar in the Shiva temple. So in the Shiva temple, we used to have program, but only thing, evening slot was not available as they had different programs. So we moved it to noon time. Then we started the program. It was gaining because I'll tell you, when we moved to the Shiva temple, the advantage was primarily many people who are coming were able to be directed towards ISKCON. That is the prime thing. So that Param Vaishnava, Shiva has helped us a lot to increase our congregation strength. So this way, many started coming, and the prasadam aspect of it, earlier it was all Matajis who were cooking and bringing. Then it moved to the Shiva temple kitchen. There we started cooking for 100, 200 like that. Then the devotees number started swelling. It touched 300, 400. At one stage, it went to 600 also. Then what happened? The program were going for so many years. During that time only, Mahamani Krishna Prabhu started the Bhagavatamas, or we can call it as Ramadan month Bhagavatam. See, in those days, what happened? Actually, one of their relative fell ill seriously. That is Shivala Prabhu's uncle. For him, we wanted to do the Srimad Bhagavatam, Saptah like that. So we started doing this program in the Guru Darbar in the afternoon during the Ramadan month. That will be in English. Then in the evening, we'll have 1 hour session for Hindi. So the afternoon session will start around 3:30. It will go up to 6:30. Then Mani Prabhu will be talking only in English throughout. He will be doing selected shlokas here and there, but not all the shlokas. Then the same content, what was told in 2-3 hours, 2.5 hours, that will be concise and it will be given in Hindi in the night time between 9:30 to 10:30. Because that was facilitating a lot. In fact, through that, so many wonderful bachelor devotees started coming. So that also increased our main congregation program. Then Manipur also used to start this morning Margashish Mangalarti session. I remember it was started in 94 or so. So that how we did it, we used to request the Grahasthas, if you want to hold Aarti in the house. Like that we started that also. It was going on very well. But as we came almost to 2000 or 1999, somewhere around, the Sindhi community, they had built a huge building, which we always say Sindhi Hall, right? So that was almost complete. Then they requested it can move to this place like that, from that place. So as we moved from Shiva temple to the Sindhi Hall in 2001 or 2002, if I remember right, then the congregation started building more and more, and more devotees started coming. So as it was increasingly going on, we required lots of sevadaris for different areas. So that way, the program increased and the number of devotees increased. Then we were able to celebrate so many important festivals, especially Janmashtami. Then we have Gaur Purnima, like that. So I could recollect one important thing. In 97, I think so, I am not able to remember, one of the Janmashtami program, for that Shivala Prabhu was preparing everything. Many nights he never used to sleep. So one day when he was driving in the morning, he slept on the wheels. So there was an accident. Fortunately, Krishna mercy, he got back everything normal. So we had a tough time during that time. Then after that, the program was going through very well. In Sindhi Hall also, we were able to give so much of prasadam because we were able to cook in the Shiva temple. Then another important thing what we used, then the temple authority, they said the kitchen is going to be renovated. You have to make arrangements for kitchen. So then we moved to, by that time in Sonapur, Mankani Mataji's, they have a camp. In that, we started cooking for almost 2-3 months, and we used to bring from there to Sindhi Hall. That was happening for some short duration. Like this, then we started Hare Krishna. So then we started the yatras in 2007. That was the first yatra, or Tirtha Yatra, we can call it as. It started with the first visit to Holy Dham, Mayapur, and Puri Jagannath. In that batch, I remember around 170 devotees joined, and it went on so well. Then after that, every year it has become a big program, and Brajalila Nath Prabhu used to handle all those things. That's one aspect. Coming back to a few things in the labor camp programs, I would like to mention in 1997 or so, I think Mani Prabhu was there at that time. The certain RSS boys from Tamil Nadu, they wanted to have some programs in Shiva temple, which we organized. They were very happy. Then they wanted to know something about Bhagavad Gita. They approached us. Then I told them it's not a big problem, but they said, where should we come? I told, no need to come. We'll come to your place. So this way, we started the program in Sonapur, and Nandakumar Prabhu also came for Kirtan, and he gave a lecture in Tamil. Here and there, few English words are also added. So that way, thereon, from 97 or 98 onwards, the camp program started. All these boys, so wonderful, they started to bring other language devotees also. And that number also started swelling. Then we approached, because the one labor camp which we are going were not sufficient. Then immediately we requested Mankani Mataji for their camp to be given. Instantly she said yes. So generous they are throughout all these years, and they have been supporting a lot. So in that we used to have program, the Aarti program, and when the individual language classes come, we go to various classrooms. So it's like a school. So like this, there are so many wonderful things. Then we moved to Alcos, then we moved to so many other Jabalali areas also. Like this, the DDY started expanding in this. Then the children's class is basically thing which I have to say, very important. Mani Prabhu used to have a regular class in the Shinaji temple down below. First it was in the first floor where the person kitchen is there. Then we started moving to the next floor. Then the children's class started, and Mani Prabhu used to go and bring lots of children for the classes also. So through that also, the congregation started growing so much. The primarily the children's program, then slowly, as I told you, the Bhagavatam program, then the Margasirish program, then the labor camp programs, then the festivals are celebrated in a big way. So like this, each and every aspect, and it's growing. We were able to spread the wings throughout Dubai, all corners of it. Not only in Dubai, we spread in so many other places also. Then ISKCON has become growing in UAE, and not only, and the Middle East also. This way, the congregation is built up, and so many seva there is started coming, and everybody started taking each and every seva, and everything goes very well together. And it is purely on a very important note, unity in diversity. And especially Mahamani Krishna Prabhu always insists, we have to have all Guru's disciples. That is very important, but we have to work together for the goal of Prabhupada mission. This is what he has been instructing, and it has been being followed by Mani Prabhu's sons. So this is the way we can see. Everybody in the world wonder, oh, how come so many Guru's disciples, how it is working? Because this is what the essence of it. And it is so well going on, so smoothly. And our programs are growing and growing. Then we started so many individual classes and so many other varieties of Bala Utsav, then Uttama Shloka and whatnot. Then the Kirtan Rasa. So all this getting expand. Oh, I forgot to mention the Damodar Aarti. Right? This was actually done in Singapore, as not Singapore, Malaysia. Then we picked up something from them. Then we added so many things. Then we started giving so many goodies to various houses who were hosting it. Like this, so I tell you now, it's a big history of Damodar Desh Yatra. Here, I would like to request Nanda Kumar Prabhu to add some more points as he is here. Hare Krishna. Nanda Kumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam. And I sincerely think we're going to miss Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu, who's been here with us right from the first days of the earliest days of Damodar Desh Yatra. Few wonderful memories is the fact that the kind of support and the mood. I'm working with a startup business at this point in time, and when we work with a business, then we learn that the first few members who are there, the founding members of a business, they are the ones who set the mood and the ethos of the business, and the business grows or dwindles according to the kind of people that we get in there. And I have to say, the kind of devotees and the spirit that we had at that point was phenomenal. If I am to state people like Ranganathan Prabhu, always full of energy to serve, to cook, encourage people to come in, a very joyous spirit of participation. Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu and Mataji, when she joined in later, she was such an able support in the old days. And then we had various other people, and some of them whom I may not be mentioning, excuse me, but various others who came in and made it such a vibrant congregation of the past. Then we had the first bachelor, the big bachelor names come in, like Purushottam Prabhu and Chaitanya Gunagan Prabhu,
Hanuman Das,
Hanuman Das, and our Bhakti Siddhanta
Yashoda.
Yashodanandan come in at the same time. This is like the first batch, and Tulsi. And in those days, specifically when Prabhu was talking about the our moving to the Guru Darbar, was a very, very interesting move, because it became that so many people walk in to have darshan of Shiva, Lord Shiva, and Guru Nanak Ji and the Granth Sahib. And when they come, they naturally get an introduction to what they were doing there. That was a fantastic opportunity we got. But I also remember that it used to be very interesting. Come in first and start off the kirtan. So I try to be one of the first people there, because we have to start on time. Maybe starting on time was a habit I picked up from there. So start that. So, this used to be my thought pattern. Come there, kick off on the kirtan. Immediately we would go down, and those were the old days when Sashidharan can never be missed to mention. What a personality. And along with him, a few other predominantly Malayali devotees at that point in time, well supported by the people at the Guru Darbar, who would do the core cooking. But this whole team, once we finished kirtan, we would come down and there would be a sabji cutting ceremony happening there. So there'd be, and we were possibly cooking for something like 250 people at that point in time, 250 people and so on. And that would be a fantastic feast many times. And that is the kind of zone where we had people like Tulsi Prabhu, Nityanand Prasad, Gauranga Prasad, Naveen Krishna Prabhu, Asutosh, and all these people. The initial batch which joined in are, what's his name? Kumar Chainani? What's his initiated name?
Rasashraya.
Yeah. So, and Sriram Prabhu. This was the first bachelor team that came in. So what we would do is, many times we will have a Mangla. We'd finish Mangla, come to the Sindhi Guru Darbar, have kirtan, do sabji cutting. Tulsi Prabhu, myself, all of this is the cooking team. And post sabji cutting, we would get into serving prasadam, finish serving prasadam, clean the vessels. And Tulsi Prabhu's famous pastime there would be, when everybody is cleaning vessels in the Guru Darbar, you will get a lot of ruh afza, and some milk will also be there. So just fresh milk and ruh afza mix with some ice. That was the feast that all of us would, the cleaning team would have. And it's that zone, I remember Chittahari and Jai Govind Prabhu, who sort of came in as generation 2, generation 3, and they've taken up a fantastic one more Mahesh used to be there in the old times, the Sindhi
Textile wala Mahesh.
So so many people would come in and make that vibrant seva opportunity, take it up. And the bachelors, for instance, then we would go to Sri Ram Prabhu's house after finishing this. We'd take our prasadam packs. We'll have our prasadam here, and then we'll go to Sri Ram Prabhu's house. All of us would sleep. It will be two rooms, just strewn with body after body who's taking rest, everybody. And then when we all get up in the evening, we will have Sandhya Arati and then a Gita class. I remember those days, Kumar Chainani, which is Rasashray, would be the question master. We'd be firing question after question, and would be very, very interesting discussions that we would have. Those were very, very formative days. And all these specifically people who played big roles there was Tulsi, Nityananda, Gauranga Prasad, Nityananda Prasad, Naveen Krishna Prabhu. And I think by that time, our Swarup Prabhu also came in. His elder brother was more involved initially.
Rajajana and Jaya.
Yeah, Rajajana would also be there. Yeah. And Vrindapati also came in as second batch into that zone. But anyway, that was majorly led by Purushottam Prabhu and Chaitanya Gurugan, and Tulsi Prabhu has always been a forerunner. From probably the first year he landed, he was much older than the rest of the boys. So they would always work well with him. And then we took the ashram, the first ashram that we had taken, where the bachelors would be staying together. So were very, very interesting days. I just wanted to mention one other thing. Srinathji Temple program has been a major source of bringing in devotees. People like Tribhuvanapati, Madhupati, there's a whole load of people who walked in. I was speaking to Tapan, and Tapan came in to our congregation because of, again, Srinathji. There's a whole load of people who used to, from Srinathji Temple, you finish Aarti, come down, and our class and Kirtan would be. We would see to it that the Kirtan was full paced, full volume, so that people are attracted and come in. Somebody will be at the door, open the door, let people in. And we have cultivated and brought in a lot of people. Krishna gave me the opportunity to sort of work on that program for close to 15 years, every single week. We'd have some visiting speakers come in. One other very, very interesting expedition as young preachers is Abu Dhabi. So we started going for some programs. First, I think my father went once. And then because this program was parallelly running here, so we had at the same time Srinathji Temple program happening and the Sindhi Community Hall or the Guru Darbar program happening. And there was also some need to go to Abu Dhabi. So we, I would say, started by Krishna's arrangements, did the first takeoff programs. So for almost a year, between Purushottam Prabhu, myself and Chaitanya Gurugan Prabhu, the three of us would go every month. We would make one visit to Abu Dhabi to go and preach to those devotees and make things happen. So we felt like, you know, in the British times, they would send their first Christopher Columbus to go and discover a new space. Like that, we had various expeditions where we would go out, meet people, preach to them, and stuff like that. But those were fantastic days where the camaraderie and the happy exchanges that we would have. I had, you know, very times this opportunity to go have prasadam exchanges. My father would stay with Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu's place when my mother was in India and things like that. This was really, really family at that time. Now we have the same mood in many ways, but we've become so much bigger. We don't get the opportunity to actually personally interact as much as we did before. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Brother Shivalabh is there. He said he would join.
Hare Krishna, Parameshwar Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
I just want to make one last mention before I wrap, before Srila Prabhu takes on. I remember the first times we would have Kirtan, and we got these tapes of Indra Prabhu. So Indra Prabhu's tapes would be very, very inspiring for us. And some of the time when we would sing those, we would sing them, including if there is a peacock singing, sound coming or the moving of a cow which comes in. So one devotee from the background, "Moo!" it would like be like trying to replicate. And I remember the first few times we were trying to sing some of Indra Prabhu's tunes, there were a bunch of people who walked up and said, this is all too difficult. Nobody will be able to sing back. You sing the normal 1, 2, 3 beat, normal Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's the only thing that goes here. But I think the congregation picked up very quickly. I think in Kirtan also we've made leaps and bounds because of the enthusiasm everybody showed to participate Kirtan and make that happen. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I had to be in another meeting and I had forcefully kept Jagjeev Jagannath Prabhu also out of this particular meeting. I did briefly check to see where the progress is. I may have an overlap in what you might have already said sometimes. And I just wanted to make a few mention. If you think it's already been spoken, yes, Damodar Desh basically was born. The entire Krishna consciousness to our family in one way came in from Damodar Desh, because way back in 1984, we met devotees here, and that was his seed, Srinathji Temple. And in and around of Srinathji Temple, we were actively involved when we became life members. So many times, when you give your hard-earned money to Krishna, Krishna catches hold of you. It's called Achyuta. So if you serve him, he never lets you go. So that was the story. But sometimes we may say, why do I have to donate? Why should I become a life member? Yes, but the life membership is what attracted us to ISKCON, attracted us to go to ISKCON Chennai when we wound up from Dubai also, even though it was a very short period of time that we were here in Dubai after becoming life members. But based on whatever material we had, we were already from that time on a preaching mode. Practically from day one of being connected to ISKCON, we were on a preaching mode because we were already on a preaching mode slightly even before. Yeah. And so that's just the first background. But then what allowed us as Mahamani Krishnadas Prabhu and family was that the resettlement into Chennai gave us so much of Sanga, gave us so much of association with senior devotees. And that was the real breeding ground where we got the basics. And Mahamani Krishna Prabhu was a can-do man. He wants to do something, he'll go out of the way, he will do it. Nobody can stop him. Yeah. So he was always, full of enthusiasm. He didn't have a job when he left Dubai and went back to India, but he was preaching. He was reaching. He was reaching out to schools, to people, to everybody coming into his clinic, to all his clients, wherever. And he was, you say that Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso, the basic faith any devotee should have in, when he becomes a devotee. And that itself is a sign of a devotee in one way. I would say that, Mahamani Krishnadas Prabhu had that almost 100%, because he had no botheration of finances. He had no botheration of who he is speaking to, somebody who's a very senior person or somebody who's a junior person. He will speak out and say what he needs to. He can get onto any arena and say a word, speak about Krishna, distribute Bhagavad Gita, start printing whatever he had in his capacity, within his capacity, and start printing and reaching. And that was a great quality. Definitely, I'm not speaking about Mahamani Krishna Prabhu as he was my father, but he was a very unique character, which I don't think none of us have fully inherited those sort of qualities of his. But these were very, very, very unique traits of Mahamani Krishna Prabhu that actually brought in the whole movement of Prachar here. So when we moved on as a family, getting connected, moved on, and many times he used to be very proud to say the whole family, though we were kids at that time, got into Krishna consciousness. So family plays a large part. Sometimes more than one individual taking to Krishna consciousness and then fighting his whole life trying to convince the rest of the family. If by the mercy of the Lord, if a family gets into Krishna consciousness together, the combined strength of all the matchsticks together that work, when we got into Krishna consciousness, I was possibly less than 20 years old. Nand was 16 years old or even less. and my sister was even less. But my father respected the sentiments of all of us, and we were like comrades in Krishna consciousness together. That was the uniqueness. He was also shorter than me, my father. I don't know. None, maybe you should put up a photo of Papa here. There is possible many people have not seen him. If somebody can make him a co-host. He was much shorter than us, though. Me and Nan could very conveniently put our hands around his shoulder also and walk. And he was such a, simple father that he was a friend more than a father. That is just one angle. But then that simplicity, that, thank you, Parameshwar. Thank you. His simplicity that, carried him, his enthusiasm that carried him in Chennai, in a period that he was not earning any money whatsoever, but he was bindas. There are some people in this world who have a very good job, but at the fear of losing their job, 3 years down the line, you will die of heart attack right now. There are some people who will have lost their job. They don't have much of earnings, but they have faith that Krishna will take care. And there are some people who think, oh, I have a job. If I stay here, I will continue to earn more and more. It will give me more stability. They're all mentality of people. My father was a type that was completely different. He didn't bother leaving his job. He will go for an interview and conduct interview on the interviewers. Sorry, I'm talking about my father. I'm just giving you a background of what is his mentality and nature. But when he was sold to Krishna consciousness, he was sold lock, stock, and barrel. He was pretty much an individual, an independent person. Even an organization cannot sometimes control him. At a particular stage, when he went to, on his first visit after connection with Krishna consciousness, between 84 and 88, he started and he was doing a lot of programs in Chennai. To very briefly tell you, he went to all the schools that we were studying in, and in the assembly, he will teach Bhagavad Gita in every one of these schools. That was his first activity that he will do. And he'll give them all some small prize. He'll give them a tape recorder. He will play whatever he had as his capacity. He'll distribute books. And whoever, Yare Dekha Tare Kaha, Krishna Upadesh was his attitude. But then later, yes, Radha Padapakash Prabhu or anybody, you want to keep sharing some pictures at any time, please do. No issues. But then
can the host give me screen share, please? Can the host make me co-host or whatever?
Vrajali Nath Prabhu, make Radha Padapankaj and...
No, screen share is on. Check karo, Nandu Prabhu.
No. He has to be made a co-host to screen.
Host disabled.
Okay, host disabled kar diya. Okay.
Vrajali Nath Prabhu is the co-host, so you can check it out. Yeah. Okay. Now coming back from the flow. So the Chennai period for us as a family, the reason why I'm talking about a family is that was the seed for the growth of Damodar Desh is coming from Mahamani Krishna Prabhu. So from that angle, I just wanted to give you a background. And definitely the family in those 3 years that they went and settled down, Mahamani Krishna Prabhu did quite a lot of preaching activities associated with ISKCON. The first connections with His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, the first connections with the ISKCON temple, the occasional visits of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj for Rath Yatras. At every stage at the Rath Yatra, the whole family got enthused to move on in Krishna consciousness from a sadhaka to a sevaka to a sevaka to a sadhaka to, gradually hold at that particular place. But we were all fully encouraged as a simple family to get into Krishna consciousness. The temple authorities, Ganga Prabhu and so many others helped us, inducted us so beautifully well. His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj was also there at that particular time. It was a wonderful breeding ground for us in terms of being close to devotee community. A few visits that the family made to Mayapur strengthened that commitment to ISKCON as a whole. But we were still, surprisingly, after so many years of being there, we're still not fully initiated. The initiations only happened once we moved into Dubai. My father had depleted all his resources that he had. And slowly at a time, he thought, okay, now I'm actually almost near bankruptcy. Even then it was no worry. But then when Ranganathan Prabhu came on and he said, why did you come back to Dubai? You have your children to get married and this and that. So Mahamani Krishna Prabhu immediately said yes. And coincidentally, Jayapataka Maharaj was visiting at that particular time. So my father went and met Jayapataka Maharaj. And Jayapataka Maharaj said, I'm a GBC for the Middle East region. So why don't you go? I will also visit. I will support you. Till then, I doubt whether Jayapataka Maharaj had actually visited Dubai at all. I don't think he had visited Dubai. but then he had encouraged my father to go and start. My father came back in November of 1988 as a bachelor, living in a bachelor accommodation right in Bardubai. And in March of 1989, on the Gaurav Purnima day, I landed in Dubai and landed with, kirtans and some programs that we all started. As soon as I landed, my father felt a lot more of camaraderie. Together, we used to do all the programs. We used to do so many things together. And then I think much later in 1989 is when my mother also joined. And I think Nand was still studying at that time. So later on, only he came in and joined after maybe 1 or 2 years after that. I don't know after how long after that. But then but programs are already started. Anand Swarup Prabhu, who used to be the regional secretary at that time, started coming in. Bashu Ghosh Prabhu was introduced by Anand Swarup to us. Bashu Ghosh Prabhu introduced us to Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, who possibly started coming in maybe, 97, I don't know which year, 95, 96, I don't know. And then we had Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj, who used to come, Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, who used to come after our first Mayapur visits for the Prabhupada Centennial. And then, after, yes, I think Mahavishnu Maharaj, Jayadvaita Maharaj, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, and then somewhere, I think in 98, 99, I'm not sure which year it was.
Navayogendra Maharaj.
No, he never came to Dubai. So then we met with His Holiness Bibi Govinda Swami Maharaj, who brought in, and I have to say that he brought in a wonderful Kirtan culture also into us. I remember those days where whatever I brought in was a Kirtan, even before Nandu came in, whatever we as a family could sing. We didn't even have a mridanga on hand. We got hold of some jabli. And our main Asthana Vidwan for mridanga used to be Chaitanya Gunagan. And there used to be no harmonium too. Then we got a harmonium. Then we started singing whatever tapes we had, as Nand Kumar was saying, from Indra Prabhu. I used to have a habit. Me and Nand had a habit of creating and catching hold of a lot of tapes. Western devotees singing, Indra Prabhu singing. Bhaiya Saki Prabhu was one of our main inspiration. All those tapes enabled us to sing back and replicate and sing. And as being South Indians, we also added a few other bhajans in those days, which were not 100% Vaishnava bhajans, which we then dropped off. And then we moved on. Anyway, music has always been a core part of the growth of Damodar Desh, as well as the philosophical bent of Mahamani Krishna Prabhu. Mahamani Krishna Prabhu was wonderfully, wonderfully supported, I'm very proud to say, by my mother, Paripurna Radha Devi Dasi Mataji, who was the main administrative force behind Damodar Desh in those days. I was, yes, administering, but learning from her and doing it, but she was the main administrative force. Like now you see Parameshwar Prabhu doing a program in his house. We'll call it the Bhagavatam program, call it the Margashirsha program. Gita Parameshwari is constantly, Tirupavai program. Gita Parameshwari is constantly by his side. Parameshwar will preach, but Gita Parameshwari is constantly organizing. I see the exact sort of replica in what my father and mother used to do. It's a beautiful comparison to really see how it started. And I think all of those tendencies and learnings that we had from these leaders, should catch into everybody. And that was the reason why I thought we should all discuss these aspects. It is not just, don't think it's glorification. Definitely, we are bound to glorify those who have spent their time in Krishna consciousness with everybody. And I see Shakuntala Mataji's photo there, somewhere way back in 1990, I think maybe in 1995, 96, when my father was doing classes at the Shinaji temple. Mankani Prabhu wanted to learn Bhagavad Gita, and so the first time I met both Mrs. Mankani and Shakun Mankani and Shyam Sundar Mankani, and they came to the Sindhi hall, and from then onwards, the relationship has been there. Our relationship has been never as somebody who, cultivated anybody for the sake of donations. It was just give and take, the love and share with each other, the love in Krishna consciousness. That was a unique point of Mahamani Krishna Prabhu. He was himself earning a very, very small salary. I was earning a very small salary, but he was a large-hearted man. The whole house, our A51, our house, was completely taken over. Every Friday program, every nook and corner of the house and the balcony and the kitchen and the toilet will be completely taken over. My mother used to be called the head Mataji. Let me pause for a few minutes to get my mother to say a few words.
Yeah. No. Are you glorifying only Mahamani Prabhu or Patabi also? Parameshwar
I'm also
Prabhu?
glorifying you. But we'll get to Patabi.
No.
You first talk
Yeah.
about those initial days, and then we talk about.
Patabi. Yeah. Parameshwar Gaura Prabhu is my Dubai son. And he used to call me only Amma and Appa. And Geeta used to call me only Mami. But Parameshwar, like Ranga Prabhu, he used to call me. And he followed whatever Mahamani Prabhu did. He did Bhagavatam 30 days, so many times. We only did for 10 years. I think he has finished more than 10 years. And he fully equipped with Bhagavatam, and he has many devotees for him, disciples like, because he can speak Malayalam, Hindi, Telugu, I don't know, Tamil, so many. Wherever you go in Tamil Nadu, they will say, I follow from Parameshwar Gaura Prabhu. I know Parameshwar Gaura Prabhu. He only taught me this. So I'm very proud of him. He is my Dubai son. And he, one second.
He's your first son.
First son, let it be. That's very good. First son.
Like
First
Mrs.
son is
Mankani
coming.
and Mrs. Mankani and Shyam Sundar Mankani ji say, Sri Vallabh is my first son. Mataji will possibly corroborate it. For you, Parameshwar is the first son.
Surely, because he did Bhagavatam and then he did Tirupave also, all 30 days. And he did in a big way. We did in a very small way, but he jumped, leapt 16 feet, as you say. If mother jumps for 1 feet, the child will jump 16 feet. So like that, he is proceeding so much, and he did so much for the population of devotees of Damodar Desh. I'm so proud of him. And now, after coming back to India, Indian people, Indian Tamil people will benefit more from him, because he will stay in South India. South Indian people will more of Patabi, Parameshwar Gaura Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So I wanted to say that the programs of Damodar Desh, when we started off with the Srinathji temple briefly, it was only children class, but definitely Saddam Hussein's attack and the need to do big Bhagavatam classes and the programs took us to say, let us do a program for the entire month of Ramadan. And that prompted us to look for the Gurudwara, and the generosity of Vashushroff, his openness to allow us to do programs even right inside the premises of the Gurudwara, after the session of the Gurudwara was open, or in the Shiva temple in the outside, cook in the Shiva temple kitchen, serve in the Shiva temple kitchen. Like, you know, how we say the Mankani family have been great in providing us a wonderful base, or Raju Somaniji has been so wonderful in providing us a wonderful flat 607. I have to definitely say Srinathji temple have provided us definitely a wonderful base, because children class was held there for so many years. Constantly, it used to be 2 days a week at one time, and then it moved to 1 day a week. But definitely the Gurudwara and the Shiva temple have given us immense facilities to do programs at the Gurudwara, which was practically all our initial initiation ceremonies, Rath-yatras, dramas, the cooking of food. In those days, can you imagine, every Sunday, Friday, the program, people used to have prasadam with banana leaf. And thanks to Shashi Prabhu and family, Chittahari, Jai Govind and all were also inducted into the cooking seva at that time. And, we used to have every Sunday prasadam with full banana leaf and a whole South Indian full variety of at least 15 items on the menu. Parameshwar, can you remember that? Yeah, I think I remember that Parameshwar was living as a bachelor here. Then he got married, but he just got connected. And it looked like it is a Purva Janma Vasana as to how things came together. He just gelled so perfectly well, Parameshwar had lost his father at a very young age in his life. though he had many of his brothers who were much senior to him as brothers, but I think he never felt on any day different, but feeling that Mahamani Krishna Prabhu was his father. When Parameshwar Prabhu got married, Gita Parameshwari Mataji moved into our house in the first place. They were sharing and we were all together in the same house, So we were all so fortunate to associate and work along. Parameshwar Prabhu, very, very simple-hearted, very wonderful South Indian Brahmana culture. No nonsense, no show-off, no need for money. So I have even some pictures. Sorry, I have not been ready with so many pictures. I have quite a lot of pictures that show him even younger than this. Of course, even now he looks young. But then what I wanted to say is Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu has been amazing, immense. And as I've always said that and even said that before, even now his touch time in preaching and reaching out to people is at least 10 classes every week. That is almost 2 classes of minimum 1 to 1.5 hours every class. Children class, youth class, labor class, the Malayalam class. I'm sure he'll also give Arabic class. So, and he's an amazing cook also. So he is amazing. And I think no man can do any activity without the wonderful support of the lady.
His wife.
Of the wife. Thank you for correction. The point is, as a saying, that
I think she learned from Patavi cooking. When she came first, she don't know anything. Then only she started learning, and now she's a best cook, and she is Annapurni herself. She has fed so many. I have seen her always without any crunch or anything. She used to feed everybody who are. I stayed there 8 months before with her. Fantastic, fantastic girl. She is my best daughter-in-law.
Wow.
There's a saying.
Yeah.
There's a saying that there is a woman behind every successful man.
Sure.
But there's also a saying that women only go after successful men. So definitely, Parameshwar was a successful man. And together with Gita Parameshwari, I don't know whether Gita Parameshwari followed Parameshwar or Parameshwar followed Gita Parameshwari. That's a secret that we will listen to later. I always crack this joke to just, put them on the spot. But the fact is that
on February
both
10th,
of them,
they will tell. They will reveal on February 10th.
Okay, they will reveal on the 10th of February. Okay, 10th of February happens to be the 31st wedding anniversary. He'll be here with us on that day. So my mother is instructing that you have to reveal on that day. Okay. Now
I
coming
just want
back,
to make one mention here. My father had this habit of making it to the Srinathji temple on an everyday basis, and it would be twice every day, mostly. There's a morning and the evening, and that's where I think Parameshwar Prabhu met him. And what happened with that? Shiva, yaro hai, okay. What happened with that is it became a culture. We would go to the Srinathji temple every morning, and we would sit there and read something many times before we go to work from there. And that is something, because we moved out of the area, or I myself did not have the regularity to stick to that schedule. But that's one kudo that goes to Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu, irrespective of what happens. He has always lived around Srinathji and kept that as his major goal. And I see that with many other devotees, but he's like the flag bearer of the daily Srinathji darshan. My father would always say that Srinathji is the adipati of this place. And therefore, that was one thing. Some people have flair. Some people win purely by consistency. And I think Parameshwar Prabhu has flair in various things with regard to his shastric interest and the amount of shlokas that he has learned. At one point, I think I used to be recognized as somebody who knows a lot of shlokas. He's beaten me hollow maybe 5 times over by now. if there is somebody who has a fantastic repertoire of verses to be able to quote to context and bring it to the thing, both Prabhu and Mataji. Where Prabhu will miss, Mataji will take the verse up and give either way. This is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Just the consistency of being with Bhagavatam, reading that regularly, he has created a culture. He has retained the Bhagavatam culture that my father and mother had put in here. I should say single-handedly, I should say dual-handedly, both of them have contributed in a very big way. I don't think any individual has done as much seva to Srimad Bhagavatam in this land. I can very, very sincerely say that. And we seek his Prabhu and Mataji's blessings on a day like this. Hare Krishna.
And his house is a temple. Every day Mangalarti is going with Tulsi Arti, everything. He is the best devotee of Prabhupada.
Amma, can you just indicate from your staying with Parameshwar for a few days in the recent visits, what is his schedule?
Daily he has so many classes and he
No,
used to involve me
starting
also.
from when he wakes up.
Early morning from 4, they both get up and do. Every day they will give Narsimha Panakam and then milk also offered to the deities. Then do Abhishek, everything. Then they start from 5 o'clock Mangalarti. Then after Mangalarti, Tulsi Arti, and then they read the Bhagavatam, everything. Simply, it's a temple run by both of them. I have never seen anybody like this. Everything is done as if in an ISKCON temple everywhere. So I'm proud of him, really. He's a very nice boy of me.
Before I go on, I just wanted to just speak a little bit of a philosophy here. Now, why are we glorifying him? Just to put him up on a pedestal? Yes, why not? We should put such people on a pedestal, no doubt. We should glorify them. Okay? And this glorification is not like a artificial glorification that politicians get or normal leaders get. This is glorification that is heartfelt about a person. As soon as, a person who is a devotee of Krishna gets the fame of Krishna also. From that angle, there's no harm in glorifying. Okay? Having said that, it is important for all of us. What is the lesson that we learn out of the discussions that we have today? What do you lesson that you gain out of what Mahamani Krishna Prabhu and Paripurna Radha Devi Dasi Mataji did? And what lesson do you gain out of what Parameshwar Prabhu and Gita Parameshwari do? And what lesson you gain out of so many other leaders in the congregation who have devoted their time? Srila Prabhupada said every devotee who is made by sacrificing gallons of blood. What you understand out of here is the time that we have to spend in cultivating and reaching. If you're just sitting in your own house and doing your own bhajana nandi for yourself, you only can influence yourself. But a person who throws his doors open is there at any time for the community. The person has spent hours and hours together in touching the lives of so many people. That is what has made a difference. The time that Mahamani Krishna Prabhu and Paripurna Radha Devi Dasi Mataji spent with Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu and Gita Parameshwari Mataji to induct them into Krishna consciousness. The time they spent with even Ranga Krishna Das, my Sambandhi, who also started with Damodar Desh and what they brought about. The time they spent with all of us as their own children. The time they spent with Tulsi Govinda Prabhu, with the Mankani family, with every other people that we see in the olden days, none of them will, will have any controversies, anything to talk, but just the positives and the uniqueness, the fun and the lightheartedness of what a person does. So what we have to do, what do we learn from this? When we have received this mercy from Vaishnavas, it is our responsibility to see that we are getting it and using it properly. Because the touch time that my father had in Chennai temple to gain Krishna consciousness within that sadhu Sanga, the base focus period was just 2-3 years. And then the touch time of so many people visiting us, our house was the main place for people to stay. And thanks to, Raju Somaniji, who provided us the 607 that now it's become an ashram that, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, every devotee that we know has stayed in that place. But in those days, It was wonderful that even people, visitors stayed with us. And the amount of learning that we get by just sometimes hosting somebody for a lunch or a breakfast, taking somebody out, engaging in discussion with them, massaging them, receiving them, taking them to meet businessmen, taking them to do that. It has, changed the lives of so many devotees here. And that every one of us should do that in our life. That's most important aspect. Do not think. I can tell you from practical example, and my mother can tell you. My father was super busy when he was here. He used to work double shift. In the afternoon, sometimes he has classes. In the morning, he used to have classes. In the night, he used to have classes. Sometimes session should go till 1 o'clock. My mother should say, can we switch it off right now? Okay. People all the bachelors used to come to our house and stay right through till whatever time. Forget about the weekends where the program used to be. Janmashtami used to happen at our house. Can you imagine? With maybe 20, 30 deities. Can you imagine A51 where Nandu used to stay lastly? But what I'm trying to say here is the time that we give to take care of others is what builds. And there's a saying in Tamil, the meaning of that is, if you take care of others' children, others will take care of your children. If you if you have learned something, as soon as you give that knowledge, even if it's Shlokardamva, Shloka Padamva, if you give it to somebody else, whatever you've learned and whatever you've given sticks permanently into your mind, life after life. So it is very important that we all should understand that our life is not just, okay, I come and I'm a receiver, I attend satsang. We are not in that ISKCON. We are not in that ISKCON. That is ISKCON se USKCON. I've told that before. We are, you hear it, you churn it, and it shouldn't just get out from your ears, it should get from your mouth to the ears of all the other people there. And when you start adopting your lifestyle, now I'm not saying don't have fun in life. All that you need to do is just preach and read. No, the amount of camaraderie, the amount of happiness you have in reaching and building this alternate friendship circle that are wonderful is very, very unique. That's my beautiful mother and my father. Though my father was initially looking for a specification of a fair girl that I think every Indian had in mind. But still, seeing this photo, I can tell you how beautiful she is. And I look a lot like my mother, so I can have to definitely praise my mother on that front. But there was another very unique photo that my daughter-in-law made just recently. And that photo was just out of the world. I'll share it. But any other comments? Somebody else wants to say something, please pick up. Parameshwar, you want to add something? And then I want definitely a few others like Radhapada Pankaj Prabhu. I want Jagjeev Jagannath Prabhu and a few other seniors who are there, even if I'm not seeing you on the forum. I want you to come and speak. And then also some of the real big chelas that Parameshwar and Mataji had, like Madhupati, Vidyagati, our Keralite congregation. If some of you want to say something, please get on. Let's move. I'll pause for a small while.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I think we need to have some Hindi in between. Hare Krishna.
प्रभु मैं हिंदी में बोल सकता हूँ अगर मिले तो.
हाँ बोलिए.
एक्चुअली बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद इसके लिए, बिकॉज दामोदर देश के कई अच्छे मोमेंट्स हैं हमारे लाइफ में. सो मैं एक काम करूंगा, कुछ फोटोज मैंने लिए थे वे बैक जब मैं नया दामोदर देश ज्वाइन किया था. तो मेरा काम यही होता था, लोगों को तिलक लगाना और फोटो लेना, और कोई काम नहीं रहता था. सो आई यूज्ड टू सी दैट हाउ पीपल आर, मतलब लोग किस प्रकार से उत्साहित होकर काम करते हैं. तो इसमें मैंने खुरफकान का एक पिकनिक का फोटो है जिसमें हम वासु घोष प्रभु के साथ में गए थे. तो शुरुआत, और बीबी गोविंद महाराज अपने डेटीज का कुछ अभिषेक कर रहे हैं हमारे पुराना रीगल 404 में. तो ये कुछ मैं शेयर करता हूँ अभी. तो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं कि बीबी गोविंद महाराज के डेटीज है, ये 404 में है, रिवोली बिल्डिंग.
We don't see the picture. I think
click on the picture. Let it open. Click the picture.
You have to share screen instead of share the particular software.
No, but click the picture open. Are you able to see the full picture?
Just a minute.
You share on the top the screen in which you are currently seeing. Please double click on that. That will allow you to share any screen that comes after that. So if it's a photo on your main screen, you can share that.
अच्छा.
In the meantime,
ये
okay.
चित्र दिख रहा है आपको अभी?
Good to go. Yeah.
यहाँ पर
Yeah.
श्रीवल्लभ प्रभु हेल्प कर रहे हैं बीबी गोविंद महाराज को
And if you see here, next to the deities, you have Sham there.
Sham is here, yeah.
You know, you have our, recently we lost Venkat Prabhu, he's also there. Okay, move on.
प्रभु अभी नजर आ रहा है ये?
Yeah, we are able to see. Now move on. Move on to the next picture.
We can see, right click. Or right arrow.
Or just open a new file.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You don't have to take it every time. If you share screen, you just click the other one, it will keep on opening, showing whatever you have on your screen.
अभी दिख रहा है प्रभु?
No, now all your files are seen, not that.
Radha Pankaj Prabhu, you click one photo, right click, use preview mode, and then open it. That's it. You can then roll on. Prabhu, before you settle, I'll just share. I'll just in want of the time. Yesterday I was in one glorification session of Parmeshwar Prabhu, my dear friend and my elder brother and a god brother also. So just like the way Srival Prabhu was saying that touch time was the main topic there also. Among the many services Mataji and Prabhu had contributed to Damodar Desh, this touch time came as a very dominant thing when devotees have glorified. So yesterday afternoon I thought, how do I, today when I come on board in this very important Sunday Feast program of telling what is his contribution and why Paripurna Radha Mataji thinks that she is very proud and she considers him as his son and Gita Parmeshwari Mataji as a daughter-in-law. I'll just show one Excel sheet that will tell the story. This is a very, can I get a sharing rights, please? Can host give me the sharing rights? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, done,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Yeah, so basically, I am not a statistician or a mathematician. What I just said, Parmeshwar Prabhu primarily has done about 30 years of service in Damodar Desh. And if you take a year of 350, 15 days off because of vacation or something like that, we all know that he doesn't take vacation, but I have, as a conservative estimate, I've taken 15 days that he doesn't do anything. It's not correct, but conservative estimate. First 4 years, assuming that he has done their family has done 1 class a day. In the next 15 years, they have done 2 classes a day. And next 10 years, the last 10 years have been very, very aggressive. They were very aggressive in preaching. They have 4 classes a day together. They have contributed to Damodar just 26,250 hours of preaching. Whoa. And imagine that, and it translates to 1,575,000 minutes of preaching alone. In the pre-COVID days, 2 years back, a preaching session means at least half an hour travel to the location. There, again, Prashadam, and again half an hour travel. I didn't consider that at all. And I didn't even consider the preparation and the effort that they have to do. 26,250 hours of contribution. So I feel that Parmeshwar Prabhu and Gita Mataji are the richest people in terms of the per capita spiritual credit that they are taking with them back to Chennai. This is the glory of them, and this simple chart, and this is a very conservative estimate. Yeah, if I were to liberal, I think it would cross about 35,000 hours. So we should all be at one way we should be very grateful to that couple who have done this phenomenal service of touch points, and then we should also take their inspiration to, at least try to emulate what they could emulate, and in terms of reading and in terms of trying to preach and reach out to people. And this is the best example of a devotee care. And in terms of man-days, if I were to calculate like a normal project man-days, 3,281 man-days they have dedicated from their own personal time voluntarily. Nobody was telling them. And sometimes Srila Prabhu used to tell him, no, slow down, slow down, slow down. I think he's the only one devotee, and probably Tulsi Govind Prabhu, another person where there is an instruction from Srila Prabhu to slow down. Otherwise, Srila Prabhu pushes everyone forward. But these are the only two exceptional people in the satsang where the instruction goes slow down. So it's very good that we have in such a great community. We should be very proud of them. And I also take, before Radha comes, we're also talking about the congregation that developed and how lucky are we with this very wonderful, successful congregation. Yes, congregation has to, if success of the congregation definitely means a good leadership, good set of people who support the leadership, and of course the Lord's will and everything goes well. But there is also one thing that we also must realize, that no big building or no big structure can be built without a good foundation. And in a community, you can call it a foundation or core values. Mani Prabhu's vision of putting those core values, which still are valid and which are, I feel, are the backbone to success of this community. In my opinion, there is no doubt about it. What are those things? We will try to recollect today, because it's a day that we need to introspect ourselves and how do we preserve these core values and take our community to a next level. Because it is very clear now, the first generation of people will be slowly fading away, or their influence to directly do the programs will fade away. The next generation is catching up. So it's a good point, pause point for us to realize those four. First, one thing is, even though our community is Krishna conscious community, and of course it is set up by Srila Prabhupada as International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Mani Prabhu 30 years back itself could really understand what is that word of international means. And that is the reason why he has also envisaged the importance of a multi-guru system that has to exist in ISKCON if it has to survive. And the same principle he had adopted here, and that's why different Maharajas were welcomed here, and we had the opportunity to see a very, very internationalized ISKCON sitting in Damodar Desh free of cost. Because I travel in the world to several places in Canada and America, and I see that it's still in many places it's very localized. It's completely depending upon the local leader. Even in the advent of the internet, still many congregational members are not fully aware of that international flavor of ISKCON and a multi-guru flavor of ISKCON. Damodar Desh, we can be very happy to say that we have disciples of more than 17 gurus of ISKCON working together closely as a community. This came because of Mani Prabhu's vision. That is my humble opinion. Even though I came into this congregation in 1996, the congregation was already built, it was running well. But this is one thing. And second thing, Mani Prabhu also put a wonderful core value among all the congregation members, which he always was there, very much a part of his pravachans, is a good family relationship. Harmony within the family, harmony between the husband and wife, children. That has to be a very important part of the thing. And the third important thing, which was different from the neighboring congregations at that time, is that our congregation was non-regimental. People can come, people can be happy, people can laugh, people can talk, people can hug, and people can joke. And that non-regimentalism and being, susukam kartumavayam, a practical application of devotion being done in a very voluntary and happy manner was there. And by himself, as a person of a good sense of humor, he could mix with people, and the non-regimentalism was there, and respect people the way they should be respected, but not demand respecting. And that helped our congregation to grow. That's my opinion, because in the regimental congregation, we sometimes see a good growth in the beginning, but it falters because we can't force people. Love has to be the strong force, and this has to be there. And then another very important for us being in Dubai, which Mani Prabhu has foreseen had a long vision, that he really put that as a core value, is to have a very good cordial relationship with other paramparas. That was the founding stone, the kind of a help that we got in whichever form, facilities, money, recognition, all was because he had a very deep respect himself. He genuinely believed it, and he put as a part of this community that cordial relations with other paramparas and his principle of respect all, follow your own really helped this congregation. And other important thing that he also inculcated is that giving opportunities to all people, in all fairness, whoever was willing to come to do service, he was giving that service, irrespective of whether he is qualified or not. One simple example which I can never forget is that way back in 1997, after every class, we used to have some quiz, and I had not even read Bhagavad Gita by that time. I was just listening. Just because I had a computer at home and a printer at home, he used to give me the service of preparing the quizzes, questions for his classes. So this is a very interesting. It may look very simple, but think of a person who is a leader of that congregation. There's a new fellow there who doesn't know anything. Just because he's a bit coming forward to help, he has given me the chance, and that forced me to read the shloka that he's going to cover that Sunday. So these are the fantastic core values that we may not see because these are the foundation. They're very deep now into the big skyscraper that we have built. But the skyscraper is standing because of these 5 core values, which I think are very, very important. And since the congregation is now leaping forward, leapfrogging into a next generation of big exposure and big programs, the younger generation must be made aware of this, and they have to continue, and probably they can improvise and improve things. But these are the core foundation values that we should all imbibe, because this is how we are recognized. This is how we are recognized as a happy community. This is how we are recognized as a non-regimental community. This is how we are recognized as an open community. Any Maharaj can come and preach and make disciples or seek for their own growth, and respecting other paramparas and giving opportunities to all. I think this, whenever I remember about this congregation, whenever I get an opportunity to talk about this congregation elsewhere, when I go to States or Canada, these things that I am very enthused to talk, because I feel very fortunate to be in that community which have and is having these foundational core values. So this is all I just wanted to contribute. Again, I was very happy when I made this Excel sheet, and I want to keep it as my archive about Parameshwar Prabhu. That was amazing. When I saw that figure of 26,000, oh my God, I thought, what is this, man? This is too much. For a man to give himself to a community, I think it's something phenomenal. Prabhu, all the best. Like yesterday I told you, we are not doing a farewell to you because you have fared so well. You deserve to be wished by us to do farewell, and we know that even without our wishes you will fare well. Yesterday there was one very, very profound comment by one Mataji, Hema Mataji, who was the Gardens devotee. She told that Parameshwar Prabhu, don't worry, there is already a congregation is ready for you, waiting for you to come and preach. So the red carpet is already laid to him in Chennai. That's something no one can ever even dream of, right? To go to India means people get so scared. That here is a personality, is a family which is going where the red carpet is already laid and the preaching arena is ready for them. So all the best, Prabhu. Thanks a lot for your wonderful and a glorious service here. And we wish you all the best. And I also like the statement of Sri Vallabh Prabhu last week. You are not going from Damodar Desh, you are only just going from a place called Dubai. Damodar Desh will be with you, and we are with you, and we'll always remember you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your wishes and prayers. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Can I request Shakuntala Mataji to say a few words? You have to unmute yourself. Yes. You're taking us to your altar? Okay. Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare
Say
Krishna,
it.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. I'm so sad, to see both of them going away from Dubai. Really, really sad. I will miss you so much. I can't tell you how much. So wish you really the best. We'll see you in Madras. And God bless you. Be Krishna be and Radharani be with you always. The very, very best. I'll be seeing you before you leave. God bless you. Take care.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
We will miss
We
you.
need
Hare
your blessings
Krishna.
all the time, Ma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Can I request
Is this open?
फोटोज दिख रहे हैं प्रभु?
yeah, Dikra, now you can move. Yeah.
So this used to be our altar over there in 404, and there is a complete program schedule that we can see here. This is the picnic to the Fujara, there where we have gone and visited the devotees actually. So you can see that everybody is in the bus. You can see Tulsi Prabhu, Basugosh Prabhu, Bal Gopal, Ashutosh, and Nandakumar Prabhu here smiling. And you have Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu sitting here for Prashadam. You have Ranganathan Prabhu, Gauranga Prasad, and Rasashray. So these were the formative years that Nandakumar Prabhu was telling. And then Basugosh Prabhu giving a lecture in Khurfakan as well as in that house. So few of the devotees, they had a dip in the sea over here. This is Sridham Prabhu. And this used to be our attraction of the year, the program of Bhagavatam, more than 5,000 verses we would cover during the Ramadan, holy month of Ramadan. Mahamani Krishna Prabhu would take us around all these verses, giving us the philosophy. You can see here our
Vijay Mayakar.
Vijay Mayakar Prabhu is here. And
Sriram Prabhu next to him.
yeah.
Yeah.
This used to be our standard altar for many, many years. We really we were very attached to this altar actually. At some point of time, then we transferred and we made it into a bigger one actually. So
Vijay Mayakar was fully in charge for it.
yeah. And this was the Purnahuti day of the Bhagavatam. You see Paripurna Mataji and Prabhu going around, they were cleansed the area, the nice rangolis were being set, the Yagya Kund was kept, and you see the Brahmanas, they have lit the fire. And here you can see Revati Gopi Mataji. She's sitting here with other Matajis over here. And it used to be a very colorful scenario and transcendental, very transcendental. You see this? You see Mahamani Prabhu, and that just what Shivala Prabhu was mentioning about the banana leaf plate, the food being served over there, and you see beaming Mani Prabhu and Mani Mataji. And then we have this, as Nandakumar Prabhu was telling, that these were the first generation and the second generation bachelors, Purushottam Prabhu, Chaitanya Gungan, Yashodanandan, Navin Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna.
And this little girl, does anybody recognize this little girl here?
Dakshayani.
She is Dakshayani, absolutely. She was just 5 years that time. So here I am in my service of putting the tilak. This is all the Mahaprashadam that was being done, cooked for all the devotees. Nandakumar Prabhu speaking to Bhakti Siddhant here, both of them. And there are some lighter moments. And this was the Prashadam team, Chittahari Prabhu ever since over there. You have Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu just walking behind Mahamani Krishnadas Prabhu. Looks like there was some chat between them, and you can see the expression of Prabhu over here. Here Dakshayani, she is giving us Prashadam. Mahamani Prabhu, after the program, this was me seeking his blessings. So this was another year of Purnahuti.
I think I see Vasu Shravji there.
Yeah.
Go to the earlier one. I see Vasu Shravji here.
Vasu Shrav is there, yeah. And this was our book table. Purushottam Prabhu, Gauranga Prabhu, Bhakti Siddhant, Sundar Gauranga, our Sachin Karnik, Nityanand Prasad. So they are all here. This was in the Mamzar Park, Mushrif Park, sorry. Mamani Prabhu sitting and having a lighter chat over here. Yeah, Brajajana Prabhu over here. And we are back to Bibhivan Maharaj's picture. I think this picture was shared a few minutes back by Vidyagati Prabhu. This is our Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu and Shivala Prabhu leading the Yagya on 2019 Janmashtami. So we were seeing that how in the formative years, the pillars, and one of the strongest pillars was, or is, I would say, His Grace Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu and Gita Parmeshwari Mataji. I myself was very fortunate to learn everything that I learned in the Pujari team today goes to this person only, one and only man in my life. And he had been gracious enough to share all the knowledge. It all goes back to the year 2004, where I was standing and seeing him in the Sindhi Ceremonial Center as to when he came back and he was working with preparation of the Abhishek Samagri. So when I was standing and looking, he said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "I'm seeing what you are doing." He said, "You have not to see, you have to work." And I said, "I do not know how to do that." He said, "I will train you, come." And from then he has caught this hand, and it has been a history actually for me. So I'll be always indebted to this Prabhu for one thing, that he showered his blessings, he showered his love, he showered all his knowledge. Whatever he knew, everything he shared it with me. And to the date, whenever he gets time, he always corrects me also on certain things. You see the olden days of, this is I think 2005, 2004 actually. We are doing a Gaur Purnima celebration and Parmeshwar Prabhu is assisting His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. And here you have Tota Gopinath Prabhu and Shivala Prabhu putting the ghee in the kalash, in the shank. So these were a few pictures which I thought of sharing. I still have quite a few of them, but then for the sake of time, I just stopped it. Thank you, Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu, for all your blessings. This chela of yours will always remember you forever. It will be difficult for me henceforth to work without you actually, because I am so much used to your presence, so much used to your advice, so much used to your instructions that, I'll be lost at some point of time. Because that feeling is there that, that there is somebody to take care. You always run the show, but then the father is always a father. No matter how old he gets or how far away he goes, you will always miss him. So you happen to be one of those persons who has given me that impetus to do those things which I was never capable of, Prabhu. And I am also thankful to the Yatra leader for that, because he supported me wholeheartedly in this endeavor to take it up. And Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. We will be greatly missing you. It's difficult for me to share my words because I'll break down now actually. But you have been the person in my life, if you go to see, when it comes to deity worship and the yagyas. So people say, RPP Prabhu, you are doing this, you are doing that. Seldom they know that the man behind me is here in the screen who has been silently guiding and putting forward, go and do it. So for that, Prabhu, I will be ever indebted. May I gain the qualities like you of humility and perseverance. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I don't have any more words to say, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. We'll be online, always available for all the devotees here.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Nityanand Prabhu is there?
There.
Very good.
Yeah. Please share your moments.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam to all Matajis and Prabhus. Today I'm feeling very nostalgic. Little tears are coming from my eyes because all the old days with Shivula Prabhu, Mahamani Krishna Das, Mataji, Head Mataji. All those beautiful memories are again recollecting in mind. It's like coming like a picture. And those were the golden years, and learned a lot from Parmeshwar Prabhu, always there to support, always smiling. As Shivula Prabhu saying, always with Bhagavatam. And I cannot forget the Bhagavatam sessions, how Prabhu used to, for 30 days, doing the Bhagavatam sessions. After his office hours, he used to come, and then for 4 hours, Prabhu used to do Bhagavatam sessions. And wonderful family. And he's an asset and will be asset for Damodar Desh. And we will surely miss Prabhu. And Prabhu, before I would like to come and meet you personally before you leave for good for India. And we will be in touch and seek your prayers that we can become much better devotees. And all glories to all the devotees of Damodar Desh. All glories to you, Prabhu. All glories to the founder family, that is Nanda Prabhu, Shula Prabhu, Head Mataji, Mahamani Krishna Prabhu. There's a lot to say, but time is short. This is simple, my gratitude or time given to me. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We have Satish Bablani Prabhu on this meeting. Please, Satish Bablani Prabhu, please share your moments.
Can I also request Sham Sundar Keshwani Prabhu? Tulsi Govinda, if you're there. Few words.
Hare Krishna, we have also Indra Krishna Prabhuji there. Hare Krishna, Indra Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा, दामोदर देश यादरा प्रभु सबको प्रणाम और a wonderful opportunity for get together, and I am watching almost all wonderful devotees of the Damodar Desh. पद्म पुराण में कहा जाता है कि वैष्णवों के दर्शन मात्र से जो है जीव का कल्याण हो जाता है। तो परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु और माता जी का जो नियमित रूप से जो हमें दर्शन होता था, मंगला आरती जो मार्गशीर्ष महीने के अंदर जो है मंगला आरती, और परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु श्रीमद् भागवतम कथा कहा करते थे, और विशेषकर एक दृष्टांत दिया करते थे जिसमें एक भक्तन थी छोटी सी जो भगवान को भोग लगाती है, तो एक बाल आता है, एक बाल। तो परमेश्वर गौर ने जो बहुत अच्छे से समझाया कि भाई भगवान में जो है भक्ति जो है, भक्ति देखते हैं, और लॉर्ड एक्सेप्ट दैट प्रसादम ओनली व्हेन इट ही आस्क्ड दैट स्मॉल गर्ल एक्चुअली अगेन ऑफर द प्रसादम टू द लॉर्ड। और अभी हम तो उज्जैन में बैठे हैं दामोदर देश छोड़ के, लेकिन दामोदर देश की जो स्मृतियां हैं और जो यादें हैं पल पल जो है हमें याद आती है। और विशेषकर परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु और माता जी का जब भी हम प्रसाद जो है उनके यहाँ कभी कभी प्रोग्राम होता था, और साउथ इंडियन डिशेस पोंगल, इडली, सांबर तो ये जो है विशेषकर मुझे याद आता है। और उनकी जो ब्लेसिंग्स हमेशा जो है हमारे साथ रही, और उन्होंने हमें मार्गदर्शन दिया। परिपूर्णा माता जी और हमारे शिवल प्रभु जी के पिताजी और शिवल प्रभु जी हैं, और उनकी परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु के साथ जो है समस्त जो यादें जो है ना एकत्रित हो जाती है, यानी कि ऑल अक्यूमुलेटेड वंडरफुल मेमोरीज ऑफ द दामोदर देश फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग, फ्रॉम द ईयर 2002 till now. Although I am here in my hometown, but each and every moment I remember the DDY devotees, particularly Shivala Prabhu, Paramananda Gaur Prabhu, Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu, और भी यानी किन के नाम लिए जाने की हरि अनंत, और भगवान के भक्त भी अनंत हैं। तो इन भक्तों की महिमा जो है जितनी गाई जाए उतनी कम है। भगवान क्या बोलते हैं कि हम भक्त पराधीन है। तो परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु और माता जी का जो वंडरफुल जो कंट्रीब्यूशन जो डीडीवाई के अंदर जो है दिया है, तो वो इमेंस है। और उनका मार्गदर्शन है, मंगला आरती रोज सुबह सुबह जो है मार्गशीर्ष महीने के अंदर जो है आना। और विशेषकर जब परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु जो है मुझे जो है चांस देते थे, ओके श्रीराम प्रभु नाउ ओके सिंग द आरती, तो मुझे बड़ी खुशी मिलती थी। संसार तो परमेश्वर गुरु को अपने मनी मन जो बहुत धन्यवाद देता था। परमेश्वर प्रभु आपने जो है मुझे गुरु अष्टकम जो है गाने के लिए एक प्रेरित किया है। तो इस तरह जो है परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु कई रूपों में जो है नया मतलब डिवोटीज को जो है प्रेरित करते थे और हमें आगे बढ़ने का मौका दिया करते थे। आई एम वेरी मच ए चाइल्ड बिफोर द ऑल वंडरफुल डिवोटीज ऑफ द दामोदर देश, and I always try to seek their blessings to learn, remembering their wonderful margdarshan, including wonderful devotee परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु एंड माता जी। और इनका जो हमेशा जो है मार्गदर्शन जो है हमें जूम के द्वारा मिलता रहेगा, ऐसी मैं आशा करता हूँ। और क्या तो मजा आया है, मैं शब्दों में बयान नहीं कर सकता हूँ। और आपको परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु आप भारतवर्ष आ रहे हैं चेन्नई में, और भगवान से प्रार्थना करेंगे कि आप जैसे वैष्णवों का संग जो है हमेशा मिलता रहे, ताकि हमें और भी भक्ति में आगे बढ़ने का मौका मिलता रहे। यही आपसे प्रार्थना है।
हरे कृष्ण। दो बात है मेरा, परमानंद कृष्ण प्रभु मेक श्योर दैट जो कोई भी दामोदर देश से या दुबई से निकल के गए हैं हमारे सीनियर लीडर्स, उनको महीने में एटलीस्ट एक बार बुला के नित्य भागवत सेवा में लेक्चर देने के लिए बुलाना। श्याम सुंदर प्रभु को या परमेश्वर प्रभु, अभी इंद्र कृष्ण प्रभु, इन सबको, दीनानाथ प्रभु, सो मेनी अदर्स, मेक श्योर दैट दे आर वेल कनेक्टेड। नंबर 2, मुझे बोलना है कि दूसरा बात, श्याम सुंदर प्रभु यूज्ड टू बी आवर मेन वीडियोग्राफर फॉर द एंटायर कांग्रीगेशन। हर एक प्रोग्राम सुबह हो, इनके पास जो जितना हमारे दामोदर देश के गोल्ड वीडियोस है अभी भी, I hope you have it all in a nice drive, Prabhu. I think one day, please consolidate some photos, and one Friday we will have a session, half an hour or 45 minutes, just to see a journey of Damodar Desh in the olden days. Take us through that. Thank you. You are very, very diligent in maintaining all records of videos, and you know, you used to buy your own camera, maintain it, carry your camera. Thank you very, very much for your service. Hare Krishna.
Also from time to time I am sharing also on the FB for the just for glorification of the wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Bhimbada Prabhu, Sevananda Gaura Prabhu, Purnananda Prabhu, anybody else? Come on, please. Let's go quick. We're already 1:30. I want to finish in the next 15 minutes.
Hare Krishna. Tanvat Pranam to everybody. Extremely grateful to Parmeshwar Gaurav Prabhu for everything, and sense of I've seen him grow. I mean, from being a very nice, simple, ever smiling, extremely patient, extremely kind, soft spoken, not given to any exuberance of behavior, lying low, extremely mature person. Grown from that, I mean, from he's getting his perfection right, or he's getting more perfect, I should say, as a devotee, because all good qualities are already there with him, and he has been completely, the couple, husband and wife, have been very devoted, extremely devoted, and the whole family. I'm very happy to even to see Rangesh today blossoming as a lovely young devotee. I mean, the whole path is beautifully been set. And I mean, actually, Parmeshwar Prabhu, also in a way, you are exhibiting that you're going, I'm going to follow you very soon. It's only a matter of time. Aging is a process, and the time to sort of move on. Okay, I'm not talking about
Sorry, Bhimbada Prabhu, Jagjiv Prabhu, last week and 2 weeks ago, Jagjiv Prabhu also gave some hints. I don't think we can let everybody go that fast. 2 years.
No, I'm only trying to, what I want to correct here is it doesn't affect Mankani Mataji because she's younger than us. But the rest of us will progress in age, and rest of us We have to move to greater horizons, greener horizons, and spread the word. Harinam is required, and it requires. If Mani Prabhu came here and said this, sowed the seed here, it does not mean the seed and the banyan tree will always stay here. The banyan tree has to sort of propagate. It has to move. So this is yet another extension. It's just a progression which we will, anyway, all of us transit one day or other. Having said that, I would also like to say one thing that, I mean, thanks to the growth and the initial part of it, when we were a core of 40, 50 people who were almost meeting ideally twice a week, or if not one, every weekend was ours. Every holiday was a group outing. And it, I mean, you had a flurry of activities. I mean, before you realize one, the other used to go. Sometimes you would be so tired that even to give up a satsang would be difficult, in the sense of we would be the core group. If we didn't go, there would be no crowd for the speaker. So like that, we used to drag ourselves literally sometimes, because the body would not keep pace with the intention or the enthusiasm. But then, as always, Mani Prabhu was a one-man army, but the only person who was, should I say, not only ably, I mean, struggling to keep him reined was Mataji. Whether it was in the 30-day, when she had the Ramadan program, he would go off on some tangent everywhere with something, because he had so much to share. And then she would be sitting, she would not be on the Vyasasana, but sitting in front of him. And she'll say, we have to move on, we have to move on. And it would be like, you might as well write on water. Nothing would be visible to him, nothing would be heard. He would be on his own path, and then we would have the rush going on. But then I would give the greatest credit to Mani Mataji, or Head Mataji, we used to call her, because she was one person who would be the instigator for any program. Whether we had to go on whether we wanted a drama, whether we wanted to go out on a picnic, she would sow the seed, and then the whole thing would fall into place. Everything would sort of so magically come into place, and then the experience would be great. Now I'm happy Mataji is also here. Geeta Mataji is now an expert in cakes. We'll also miss those cakes too. I mean, she's okay, Annapurni, yes, Sadapurni. You'll always be complete, and you'll make your husband also better complete as a couple. So very nice. I wish and pray to the lotus feet of the Lord and Srimati Radharani and all the Guru Parampara, that may you always grow from strength to strength. May you always have the best of everything, the best of health, the best of everything. May you continue to do what we in Prabhupada's mission. May you always stay connected, stay happy. And the only thing is we are waiting for some invitations to come from you. And I'm sure sooner than later it will happen. With Krishna's mercy, may you always do well. Thank you, Shri Vallabha. Thank you so much for everything, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhu. Rajajananand, Tulsi Govinda. Can somebody wake up Tulsi Govinda from Mayapur? I want him to come online for 2 minutes. Then Chittahari. Come on, let's go on. I want to wind up 1:45 is the max time I want to go today. Let me tell you all one other thing. I know it's sort of an Omicron situation, and therefore we are not yet fully having a face-to-face farewell. This is something that's unfortunate right now, but we are still hoping to do something for a limited audience, keeping in mind that we have limitations on what we can do. So just keep yourself open on the 10th and the 11th, and we'll try and see what we are going to do. We'll send out personal invitations for at least a few. I can't accommodate more than 75 people in that venue, but let us see what we can do. But definitely for Ramadan, I think we should think of bringing Prabhu back here. At that time, Omicron should possibly be out. Okay? And on behalf of Raju Somaniji, I can tell you that you can take over flat 6 or 7 and do whatever you did at your house. Now let's get on at this particular stage. Sevananda Prabhu, anybody else? And then Rangesh, I want you to say a few words. Chittahari, Vidyagati.
I have already spoken last time, but just one thing we are missing, I think. We have a Rivoli building also. After Sindhi Hall, after Guru Darbar, we left. Few months we are in Sindhi Hall. in the Rivoli building. Rivoli building, a lot of, all the bachelor devotees were there. And
Few
one
years.
thing I just want to mention, Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu is always there on the, Mangalarti morning. Whether it is a Guru Darbar, whether it is a Rivoli, whether it is a Sindhi hall, for so many years, without him, the program was not starting actually. He was always there every minute. I don't remember that whether he has gone holidays anytime. Whenever he's there, he was always there. Very few time only he must have gone on holiday for a few days only. Otherwise, he was always there. So only recently now he's been, given up and taken over by other devotees for our altar seva. But otherwise, initially from the 2000 onwards, I am seeing him. He was always there presence. Every Friday, he was there without fail. That is a great, great seva. Mataji is also there. Exactly wherever Prabhu is there, Mataji is there. Whichever program you are there, both of them are there. They are actually an asset for our Damodar Desh Yatra. We always indebted to you for their seva for such a long time. So peacefully, so quietly, without any incident, serving only Krishna and the devotees.
He was also one of the first treasurers of Damodar Desh.
From him only I took it, Prabhuji.
Yeah, before that, I think Sri Ram Prabhu was there. Yeah.
Just that it looks like Parmeshwar Prabhu never got a good travel agent. Yeah, because you never see him go to a holiday for Phuket, Switzerland, Europe trip. Every holiday also, he never took a holiday. Jab holiday leta tha, wo bhi preaching holiday tha.
Yeah, I know
Every
that.
time he would go south and he would be traveling in the villages and preach. So just phenomenal dedication of time, and the intensity with which it has been done is just hats off. Wonderful.
He had a holy day every day, so there was no holiday required.
Yeah, true. You're true. Yes.
The word holiday comes from holy day only.
That's right. So, anybody else?
Tulsigan Prabhuji is here. Prabhu.
Tulsi Govinda Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. My Dandavats to all the Damodar Desh devotees. Now, today specifically to His Grace Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu and Geeta Parmeshwari Mataji. Of course, it is dual feeling, Someone leaving Damodar Desh and someone going back to India to serve Srila Prabhupada more, Srila Mahaprabhu more. I'm very happy, really. It is maybe a long cherished dream of Parameshwar Prabhu to go back and preach, which he often does every year. Just now, Nanda Kumar Prabhu rightly said, he never taken a holiday. His holiday is also a preaching holiday. A real holy day for him. So nice. Yeah, of course. His Switzerland, his Phuket, or whatever, his Kumbakonam and South India and temples, preaching and villages. We really get inspired. I have myself definitely got a lot of inspiration from Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu, a lot of blessings, a lot of teachings, a lot of guidance, and he is definitely an Adarsh Murti for me. Like many other senior devotees like Shivalla Prabhu, Nanda Kumar Prabhu, but Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu has definitely been, right from my days of infancy in Krishna consciousness, he was there. And especially when I say, when everyone was in Bardubai, I was always in Bardubai, but Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu has been in Bardubai right through. So for me, it was very easy to connect, physically meet him every day, practically, especially Srinathji temple darshan, So our daily darshan, daily routine of going to Srinathji also, he is a big inspiration for me. So and the list is very long. What can I say, I mean, if I go on writing, it will become a book, definitely, on Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu and Mataji. How much they have, not only in my life, I'm sure there are many and Damodar Desh who will vouch for all this, and many who got inspired, many are still getting inspired by him. The way, the humble mode, the enthusiasm, both Mataji and Prabhuji, they went from a small studio apartment in Dubai, they went to a big 2-bedroom hall just for the purpose of preaching and accommodating more people in the flat, I must say. That was his only, he never moved to that flat for his luxury. He went there just so that he could expand his preaching and he could host his Bhagavatam with his Grace Mahamani Prabhu, handed over the mantle to him to preach Bhagavatam more and more, to accommodate, to train many boys and girls. I'm sure the list is never ending. All the gunas, I wish I could get an iota of his gunas so that I could do something. Thank you, Shivala Prabhu, for organizing such a nice program to glorify a great stalwart, like Parmeshwar Gaur Prabhu and Mataji. With tears in my eyes, definitely, when I talk about him. I would wish him all the best for his preaching mission and a very long and healthy life for all this. Hare Krishna, Mataji and Prabhuji, Dandavat.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Now, one particular song I just want to share. I just spend another minute here. This sometimes we talk about somebody who leaves us permanently and goes. But then here, it also applies for temporary moving. Kabira, jab hum paida hue, jag se hum roe. Aisi karni kar chalo, hum hase jag roe. So, even leaving Damodar Desh or leaving Dubai to move back into India, definitely Prabhu is definitely moving, laughing, while all of us are going to miss this association. But thanks to the digital world, we are all going to be connected. But this is exactly the concept that we all have to have. We bring in so much of contribution without expectation and just serve the Yatra, serve Srila Prabhupada, serve ISKCON, and every member is going to be indebted to you for life. It is very important that we mold our activity in this way. So we need to be non-controversial. We need to do things that are that are required to be done for supporting the Yatra, Srila Prabhupada's movement, and take it up. Now, I would request Sri Rangesh Sadananda Ramchandra to say a few words very quickly. Gita Parameshwari before we wind. I know you're feeling sleepy, Gita Parameshwari, Mataji, and then Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu as we wind up today. Sadanand, start with you for a couple of minutes.
Hare Krishna. So, firstly, I want to thank everyone who has said such sweet words I'm not getting the right word. I don't want to use the word glorification, but in terms of their contributions to the community. And it obviously wouldn't be possible, firstly, if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada, who spread this message all around the world. And after which, obviously, it trickled down to His Holiness Devata Maharaj, who inspired Mahamani Prabhu and Srila Prabhu and the entire family, who have, especially Mahamani Prabhu and Paripurna Radha Mataji, who have trained my parents. I've had more training from my parents and Srila Prabhu. But this is something I was just thinking about as Srila Prabhu was asking me to speak, was that the whole expansion that we've seen of Damodar Desh is like a trickle-down effect of genuine service, which has happened since the past 30 years. And there is a lot of faith in the community itself, but also the people who are offering service. And it boils down to the amount of time that was given. And since we have people like Srila Prabhupada who gave time to all those hippie boys at that time, who turned out to be amazing devotees, we see people like his disciples like Devata Maharaj and others who have given time to everyone else. And now it's like passing the parcel, basically, that we are just passing on whatever it is that we have received. And many of the stories I've heard from my own parents regarding Mahamani Prabhu and Mataji, the amount of time they've given, and also the bond that was shared with the entire community at the time when it was very small. But that has also extended now, even though we don't get to spend as much time, but the bond still exists in the community at large. And that is something that we get in Krishna consciousness, which is something I was mentioning this morning to someone else as well, is that Krishna consciousness encompasses everything. And sometimes the bonds we have developed in Krishna consciousness go even far and beyond what we have even with our own families. I mean, some of us are fortunate to have families where the brothers, sisters, everyone is Krishna conscious, but not everyone is fortunate that way. And you can see the stark difference between the bonds that is shared from quote unquote a material perspective than that compared to a spiritual perspective, where the ultimate goal is to satisfy Krishna and love and serve Krishna and the devotees. But that also extends to people in general. And that is one thing that I will definitely take away from our entire experience, at least for me personally. And I have seen my parents serve in many capacities. And the one thing that I think, I'm just drawing parallels between Damodar Desh and the Bhagavatam programs. So obviously Damodar Desh also started with 3-4 families, and now we're up to 3,000 or something like that. Similarly, the Bhagavatam programs, when we had started at our previous place at Astor, initially when we started off with the first canto, it was around 40 people every day. And then slowly and steadily it grew and grew. And 2018 was the last time I actually experienced the in-person Bhagavatam. And at that time, we had around 100 people fit in that house every single day, and around 120 or 130 over the weekend, which is unimaginable for a house of that size. But I guess it's Krishna who makes the arrangements. Even from a service perspective, obviously someone has to take the initiative, but the amount of support we received overall from the entire community is what encourages us to go forward even more. And for me, having been in other parts of the world, in other communities, I can definitely say that the bond that is present, or the energy that is present in this community, which is something I personally have drawn from Srivala Prabhu, Nandkumar Prabhu, my parents, Mahamani Krishna Prabhu, all the others who have come before. It's just a totally different energy that is there. And I have heard so much about my parents over the past few days, and it is a reminder to me as to the amount of value and in terms of how much time they've given to others. And I need to value and respect them even more than I do. And sometimes we take it for granted because our parents are just right there. But it is a humble reminder as to the fact that I should be more and more willing to serve them, and also just maintain, or at least maintain, because I don't know if I can reach the levels that our previous generation has done in terms of service, but at least try our level best to live up to that and continue serving them. And we hope that we can serve our previous generation as much as they have given us the time and energy to groom us in the way we are today. So I once again want to thank the entire community for giving us such a wonderful experience. And I think, as everyone has said before, Damodar Desh is something that will not leave us. Damodar Desh will always be home. Even for me, one of my friends was mentioning that now that your parents are going back to India, you won't come to Dubai, right? I was like, no, that's it's not even a question, because if I'm coming, since I live in the US, if I'm coming this side, I'm definitely coming here. There's no way that I'm not coming by Damodar Desh. And even for my parents, the Bhagavatam programs and the Margashirsha programs, I think these are things that are very dear to them. And I'm sure that they will be back every now and then for these programs, for sure. Hare Krishna.
Geeta Parameshwari Mataji, want to say something?
Hare Krishna for all the Vaishnava devotees. And I have to thank, first of all, my Siksha Guru. So, first of all, my parents. So, first of all, my parents, and as well as Siksha Guru is Mahamani Krishna Das Prabhu and Paripurna Radha Devi Mataji. Mataji was telling, I will not call her Amma, only Pataji will call her Amma. So but I will call you sometimes Amma, sometimes Mommy. So this is normal, but I have full thoughts of you and regards and everything. So this is my personal experience with Mommy. That automatically it is coming. This I have, because she taught us so many things. Before my mother also taught, but this Krishna consciousness is, I got knowledge from Mahamani Krishnadas Prabhu and Mataji. Because whatever she is doing, she will call immediately and she will tell you do this one, you do that one. And she will not tell, no, she will not hide or anything, nothing. She will frankly say, you have to do like this. If we do anything wrong also, she will tell you should not do like this. It is not correct. So she will correct us. So like a mother, no? So that we have to take it. That we should not take, no. Why she is telling, no. So like that only we grew in this Damodar Desh. And particularly when I came here, Srivala Prabhu was there. And he was... And he was guiding me. He will, no, because Prabhu will come very late from office. So he will take me to temple. Then 1 or 2 days he took me, then I went. Like that, he guided me a lot. We were together. It was very special days, that we can't forget. That is very important. And he will tease me like anything. That days we have to remember now. So these are all the things I enjoyed.
What did you say? Tease you, you said.
Yeah.
I still do that.
So still he is doing, but not that much. That day it was, we all sit together and we each one will tease each other, and then we laugh like anything. It's gone. That time it's not there now. So this, because this Damodar Desh is growing like anything. So everybody has got they didn't get time. So each other. So we are doing each other, and wherever we are, as you said, this one, Shivalab said, we have to see the Prabhupada's instruction and Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj's instruction is very important, because in this condition also, he is preaching and he is giving Krishna's, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to all the doctors as well as the nurses, and everybody likes him. So in that way, they are following also. So that way, that I inspired by our Guru Maharaj. And still we have to do more and more services. Whatever we are doing here is not enough. We have to do more and more in wherever we are going, wherever we are not going to settle down in one place. So we want to travel and preach, and we want to do the Annadan. That I cannot be without giving prasadam to all the devotees. That as Guru Maharaj said, whoever comes, you have to honor. They have to give prasadam to. So you have to feel that should be there till my life end. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. To summarize, first of all, let me offer my humble thanks to all the devotees who have put in their wonderful sweet words, though I deserve or not. But one thing I can tell you, without you all our efforts is impossible. Because each and every one of you, right from Shyam Keshwani Prabhu and so many, each and everyone have really supported us a lot. And especially the Damodar Desh has supported all these years. They have tolerated us so many ways. That is also very important. And let me offer my humble thanks to my parents who have brought me and who have given me this wonderful spiritual activity right from the childhood. Being born in a small town, we have been always into this. And all the time, what is more important, I tell you one thing. See, whatever I learned from my parents was exactly coinciding with my parents in Dubai. That's why the gelling was so easy. And especially, I'll tell you, the day I landed, the very next day morning, I was in Srinaji temple for the Mangala. That time I met Mahamani Prabhu in a typical Madrasi dhoti, and I felt I am in Chennai only, because other parents are here for me. The Srinaji has given me. So this is the way I always believe so much in Srinaji, because he has been the force for me to do so many things. And especially Mahamani Prabhu has been instructing so many valuable things. I cannot forget anything, because when my father was sick, he said, you have to go and serve your father. Like this, so many instructions. There are n number of instructions. Similarly, when I turn to Paripurna Mataji also, he is always very affectionate. This is a very rare situation in a different country. And that too, the whole family was also very affectionate throughout, and they have been supporting us. And little service, whatever we have been doing, have been appreciated throughout. I remember Mahamani Prabhu always used to appreciate Geeta on many occasions in the program also. She has been serving us for all these things. This is very, very rare opportunity, because and especially Mahamani Prabhu always used to say, Annadata Sukhi Bhava. So we have imbibed lots of qualities from our parents in Chennai, our hometown, and parents in Dubai. So this way, the whole family was gelling so well. And I have to thank Siksha Guru, Mahamani Krishna Prabhu and Paripurna Mataji. And I have to really humbly thank my Guru Maharaj, who has given me this wonderful opportunity of serving Vaishnavas and Krishna. And I am very much indebted to him all my lifetime. And especially to Srila Prabhupada, I am indebted so much, because but for his Srimad Bhagavatam wonderful narrations and wonderful purport, I would not be in this. This is what I can tell you. Such an amazing Bhagavatam lectures by him and wonderful purports, that always goes even in every blood cell of mine. This is what I want to keep on doing it till my lifetime. And once again, I thank the whole DDY Yatra for supporting all of my activities, and especially the Yatra leader, Shivala Prabhu, and the whole family. And I remember a few instances with Nanda Kumar Prabhu. Myself, Nanda Kumar Prabhu, and Purushottam used to sit and by heart slokas in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where that bumblebee in the 10th canto, koi me, what is that? I forgot that. Vivacharini, like that, that's one sloka. So, like this, there are so many slokas, and all this, I really appreciate all, one and all. They have been supporting me, and with that support only, whatever the little service we have been doing, it is going on. So we want to continue the services wherever we are, and we need all your blessings, prayers, and support all the time. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Anybody? Last doubt? If it's a half a minute, otherwise we move. Sunil Madhav and Vidyagati.
Prabhu, we will be missing you and Mataji definitely. Mataji served us a lot of prasada. जब हम लोग बैचलर थे, तो that time we used to go to the Mataji, and Mataji was first who served us a cake. Now there are a lot of...
I like her pizza also.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Indra Krishna Prabhuji is there online from India.
Yeah, Indra Krishna Prabhu, get on.
Hare Krishna, Dandvat Pranam. Prabhu, we are on the airport, about to board an aircraft. So we did not want to. No, not now. We hope to come to Dubai by your blessings and all the Vaishnav's blessings. So we are traveling to Bangalore, and I have no words to glorify Parmeshwar Gaurav Prabhu. He's such an exalted personality that my words will fail for glorifying him. But I'm so indebted to him, and I offer my Dandavats Pranam for so much service that he has done for the Yatra and for us personally. I'm surprised that how much time he could get to give to other devotees in addition to his own sadhana and a lot of service that he used to do. So Prabhu, please shower your mercy on us, your Kataksha Drishti on us. And I would request His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj to engage you also in tribal care services, which will be great help if you also spare some time for that. So kind
Tribal
of you.
care in South India.
Yeah, why not? South India, you can also travel to Assam because Andhra is also really picking up in tribal care. When Assam also, they understand Hindi. So Prabhu speaks good Hindi. So it will be a big help for such a important service that ISKCON is trying to do. And I really thank Prabhu from the bottom of my heart. Rupin also like to add a few words. He has been very much interested in Bhagavatam because of his Bhagavatam class and gardens that he used to do so regularly.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees in the forum. Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhuvacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Hare Krishna. So we know the one verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Definitely, Parmeshwar God Prabhu is our Siksha Guru of Damodar Desh Yatra. And really from bottom of my heart, thank you would be a small word for what I have got from Prabhu. The real taste for Bhagavatam, I got it after I started attending Parmeshwar Prabhu's class, when he used to come to gardens and Discovery Gardens. In rotation, we used to have programs in different houses. Those were the, what I should say, platinum days of our Bhakti. And I used to wonder how Prabhu could connect to so many scriptures. One verse would be chanted, and one word he would pick, and he would ask from where it has been there, been which shloka from Bhagavad Gita or which shloka from Bhagavatam, other means connective, the topic and all. So it has been so much, I should say, inspiration. Prabhu has given inspiration, and by Prabhu's mercy, now I have with my gardens ladies, we have online Bhagavatam classes 4 days a week, and every credit goes to Parmeshwar Prabhu. I'm just trying with the ladies to read and try to understand it. But of course, Gita Parmeshwari Mataji always used to be there with Prabhu. And Mataji used to chant, then we would follow her. And I would be sometimes like a kid, Prabhu would not be able to come to my house for any program. I would like a kid would, no, Prabhu, you must come, you have to come. Even when we shifted to Sharjah, for housewarming, Prabhu would be, pressurized, no, Prabhu, for at least little while you have to come, like that. So we all would like presence of Mataji, Gita Parmeshwar Mataji and Parmeshwar Prabhu. So very, we are indebted, and definitely Prabhu, in India also, wherever we are, we want your association. You have to visit our home, stay with us, and we will have nice Bhagavatam classes by you. So all my pranams to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I would like to spare some time for you in the yatra, in the tribal preaching.
Yes, Prabhu.
So nice, Prabhu.
We will be going for safari. People will be really blessed. You and Mataji must join us.
Sure.
And of course, Rangesh also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Parmeshwar God Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. We have our Banu's mom as well here. I just want to say that I remember what Sunil Mahato Prabhu said. When we were young, you had really taken good care of us. So many sannyasis used to come, and we used to really, be there for taking Maharajas to your place and then having prasadam. I still remember one of your most important class was on parents. You had spoken about parents, and you had told how we should take care of parents. So my parents had passed away, but then I'm trying to my wife's father here. You had given a very important class. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I can't speak, but thank you. Hare Krishna.
Banu Nandini Mataji, and to your mother, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhu.
Yes,
Parmeshwar Prabhu. Yeah. Parmeshwar Prabhu. Anybody missing is a lot or not, I will miss greatly, because the seva what I got it today, all that is because of you, and especially I will miss you greatly. But of course, you will be in my heart and mind. Just physical will be missed out, but online will be hearing you a lot. That's what my request. And I like a leader like Srivala Prabhu, how he gives chance to everybody. I would, if today any class Prabhu is taking, Parameshwar Prabhu is taking, he will give chance to everybody. So like the leader, the other the coming, how the follower also follow, you are given that same to us, and we are also will follow surely wherever we give the preaching. And you also made many of the small time, I mean, I don't know anything about any of the topics of the thing, but you gave us so much enthusiasm and gave us so much, so that you are even I am started giving at your blessing, you are giving chance to for classes. And I greatly remember Mataji's prasad. I don't know, I don't think anyone in DDY would have not had any prasadam from Mataji's and or his hope. It's a great honor. It will be very rare such a place where we can anybody can go freely and have the prasadam and also hear the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. So I really miss Prabhu, but our missing is just temporary. I want to see all of this DDY gathering for shortly for Sadanand Ramachandra Prabhu's marriage. I bless him to have a quicker, I mean, a grasta life. And also I want to stay there, like Prabhupada went to West for preaching in a sannyasi mode, sannyasi stage. You are going as a grasta stage to preach out and reach out to all the village people in India. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Can I request Shama Smita Mataji or somebody from the Kerala congregation to say something? The last person. And if somebody is trying to speak, don't be quiet. Unmute and shoot.
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Prabhu,
Shama.
Dandot Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Parameshwar Prabhu and Mataji, for guiding us for long time. And he was introduced to us by Sankarshan Baldev. I think he is online now and he would like to talk. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Shivala Prabhu, Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna, Parameshwar Gauradas Prabhu. When Logi Darshan Prabhu decided to move to India in 2008 or 9, we were left out with no one to actually guide us with our morning program before we come to Sindhi Ceremonial Center. Then I spoke to Parameshwar Prabhu about this. I believe I speak good Tamil, but some reason Parameshwar Prabhu always speak to me in Malayalam. So he said, what you're going to do? Then I said, Prabhu, we are left out with no one. Will you be able to help? Parameshwar Prabhu said, I always wanted to take class in Malayalam. I will come over. And from that day, it's almost 12 years, Prabhu is guiding the Malayalam congregation, taking classes in Malayalam, and he teaches us slogas. Prabhu is very particular about Ucharan, and when we miss any Sanskrit word, we don't pronounce it properly. Prabhu will make sure that we pronounce it properly. Until then, that he sometimes he calls in between when during office hours and ask, can you please tell that sloga? And he makes sure that we we not only by heart the sloga, properly pronounce the sloga word by word. And another thing I remember is Prabhu once took me to a labor camp, and after reaching there, he told me, you are going to take class. I said, Prabhu, I know Hindi, but it's not that good. He said, Krishna will guide you, and I am here. Whenever you have problem, I'll pitch in. And I believe I took a good class, but unfortunately, that was my first and last class in Hindi. After that, I never got an opportunity. And like Prabhu is very particular about how we, he always used to tell that even though your parents are not devotees, they are the one who given you this body. So whenever you meet your parents, it's your responsibility to take care of them, take their blessings and all those things which you need to do to the parents, you have to do. Prabhu was very particular about all the cultures which we follow as the proper Hinduism cultures. He said that, oh yeah, you are a devotee, It's said in the scriptures that when we serve Krishna, we don't have to do all those things, but still, it's your dharma. You don't know whether you are a good devotee or not. What if you are not a good devotee? So whatever you have to do, you have to do. Plus, follow the Krishna consciousness seriously. So he used to give a lot of instructions like that. He was very particular about how to be take care of the parents. And thanks a lot, Parameshwar Gaur Prabhu and Gita Parameshwari Mataji. Hope to see you soon. We are very close now. It's only 9 hours drive for me to reach Chennai, and hoping to come here and meet Krishna Balram. Wonderful deities. Yesterday we had our 5th Brahmotsav. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Sankarshan, we are waiting for to reach Thiruvananthapuram as well as Palakkad also.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Always welcome.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody? Any other call?
Prabhu, Purnanand Prabhu.
I called his name many times. He's not coming. Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, Prabhu, I'm here. Prabhu, I'm here. I didn't hear you call me.
Only when there is prasadam, he'll come, otherwise he's not come.
Prabhu, prasadam Prabhu, in short, I will say in short, they say like filmy style mein, तारीफ करूं उस कृष्णा की क्या जिसने इस फैमिली को बनाया.
तारीफ करूं मैं किसकी
जिसने इस फैमिली को बनाया.
Okay, noted. Filmy music में आ गया अमिताभ बच्चन. ठीक है. No problem.
Definitely, this personality will be missed here. Very much. I was with him day before yesterday, but we will definitely miss him.
Yeah, we still have a week to stop him.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
So I'm still praying he gets some opportunity here so he can stay back with us.
No, I'm saying he doesn't need an opportunity. He has to just settle and be with us. That's all. No need work. Let him only preach.
You give him a signal. Let him be our.
I gave him multiple signals. So what can I do?
Let him be our Damodar Desh priest here and stay with us. Kalas. We'll take
That's
care
it.
of him. See,
Yeah.
we are taking care of other people. Why not we take care of him here?
Yeah. So I think we should do that. Anyway, let us see. Let him go try for some time. He'll come back soon.
Yeah, he has promised. Mataji has said twice a year we'll come, for one in Ramadan and one in December for Tripura. Yeah, so we'll welcome him here. It's okay. Good. And we can sponsor him also to come here. No problem.
Done. We'll organize a visa through some businessman here, so you come and go anytime you want. Okay?
Yeah, he was planning. Yesterday, day before, he told me he was planning for a 5-year visit visa. If we can help him get it, it is good.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Purnanandji. Thank you, Parameshwar. Narottam Prabhu, you want to say something?
Chitta Hari Prabhu wants to say something.
Chitta Hari Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Mataji, Gita Parameshwar Mataji and Gita Parameshwar Prabhuji. आपका देख के हम लोग का बहुत उत्साह होता है आपका प्रीचिंग का, लेकिन मैं प्रीचिंग पर्सन नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी आपको देख के हमको बहुत प्रसन्नता होता था. आप रेस्टलेस प्रीचिंग करते हैं प्रभु जी. आप कितना भी है दिन में 3 बार 4 बार कितने भी है प्रोग्राम है आप जाता है. बहुत अपना महामणि प्रभु का बाद, अपना हेड माता जी का बाद, आप प्रीचिंग में उन का बाद आपका नंबर आता है. श्री वल्लभ प्रभु का फैमिली शुरू किया, लेकिन आपने बहुत प्रीचिंग का जिम्मेदारी उठाया था आपने. श्री वल्लभ प्रभु का फादर ने शुरू किया. हमको याद है 94-95 में मैं ज्वाइन किया. उस टाइम हम लोग का बहुत कांग्रेगेशन में बहुत छोटा सा कांग्रेगेशन था. हमको भी अभी तक याद है. और एक महामणि प्रभु है, हरिनाम प्रभु महामणि प्रभु है, उनका नाम है. और हरि प्रभु है, सिंगापुर चले गया. रजित प्रभु है, नवीन कृष्ण प्रभु है, उन्नी प्रभु है. ये सब लोग हम लोग का साथ में शिव मंदिर में प्रोग्राम करता था. उस टाइम आप भी आपको जो लेक्चर्स का भी हम सुन के बहुत बहुत प्रसन्न होता था. लेकिन मैं किचन में हम लोग सुनता था. किचन में भी वीडियो होता था, किचन में भी हम लोग सुनता था सारी क्लासेस. इस टाइम का हमको बहुत याद है। और सबसे बड़ा बात है, मैं जब भी नया ज्वाइन किया, मेरा क्रिश्चियन फैमिली के साथ हमारा बहुत रिश्ता था। जब भी हम श्रीवाला प्रभु का और नंद प्रभु का मैं बताता था, प्रभु जी हम लोग भी लेबर कैंप का प्रीचिंग शुरू करना है, जैसे क्रिश्चियन लोग शुरू किया ऐसे हम लोग भी शुरू करना है। श्रीवाला प्रभु को मैं हमेशा बताता था। अभी श्रीवाला प्रभु को याद नहीं होगा, लेकिन उस टाइम का बात था। आपने जब भी सोनापुर का लेबर कैंप शुरू किया तमिल का, उसके बाद हम लोग तेलुगु शुरू किया, श्री राम प्रभु मैं और जगन जीवन प्रभु। हम लोग फिर बाद में हिंदी ऐड किया, बाद में मलयालम में ऐड किया था। बहुत आनंद होता था उस टाइम का बात का। बहुत कई साल 20 साल का पहले का बात था ये। बहुत अच्छा होता था प्रभु जी आपके साथ। हम लोग का दुख है, लेकिन फिर भी आपको ये पूर्णानंद कहा ना, आप प्रीचिंग के लिए आप इधर रुक सकते हैं, हम सब लोग सपोर्ट करेंगे आपको। श्री वाला प्रभु का तरफ से आप इधर रुक के प्रीचिंग करना है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा। हमको शाम को मिलेंगे प्रभु जी, इसलिए मैं ज्यादा बात नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ। शाम को हम लोग प्रोग्राम है आपके साथ, फिर उधर बात करेंगे प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू श्री वाला प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
थैंक यू चैतन्य प्रभु, आपका हेयर स्टाइल बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा।
Yeah, anything? Thank you all very much. Nand, you wanted to say something to close? Okay, thank you. Ekam shastram devaki putra geetam eko devo devaki putra eva eko mantra tasya namani yani karmapi ekam tasya devasya seva tumeva mata cha pita tumeva bandhu cha saka tumeva vidya dravinam tumeva sarvam mama deva deva krishnaya vasudevaya hare paramatmane pranata kleshanashaya govindaya namo namah कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंद गोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः वसुदेव सुतम देवम कंस चाणूरमर्दनम देवकी परमानंदम कृष्णम वंदे जगद्गुरुम कात्यायनी महामाई महायोगिनीश्वरी नंद गोप सुतम देवी पतिम मे कुर्ते नमः श्री कृष्ण शरण मम दासोहम कृष्ण तवास्मि। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। परमेश्वर गौर प्रभु और गीता परमेश्वरी माता जी की जय। महामणि कृष्ण प्रभु और परिपूर्ण राधा देवी माता जी की जय। सभी इकट्ठे दामोदर देश भक्तों की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
प्रभु नेक्स्ट वीक विल बी RIS और स्टिल टू
नेक्स्ट वीक का प्रोग्राम मोस्टली रीजन इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में होने वाला है और 2-3 दिन में अनाउंस कर देंगे कैसे कंडीशन है, उसके अनुसार रेडी रहना, सबको शामिल होना है। थैंक यू, थैंक यू वेरी मच। हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू।
Can I end the program? So it's Parameshwar Prabhu, with your permission and Srila Prabhu, with your permission, I can end the program, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Vidyagati Prabhu, you can end it. They have left.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.